and turn them.
Still expanding a little.
It's what?
Still expanding.
Okay. Well, good.
Apparently they don't do Halloween in my parents' neighborhood.
What?
All the kids go to the city square and do Halloween.
What?
So
You can't do that. That's cheating.
I was like, that sucks.
That's just being given candy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's, you know what that is? It's the welfare of candy.
It is.
Have you heard of the Switch Witch?
Mm-mm.
It's so you know the Elf on the Shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that for Halloween. So what you do is it's a new thing that millennials are doing with their families. The kids go trick or treating. At the end of the night, they take out one piece of candy, their favorite, and then they put all the candy with the Switch Witch. And then the next morning, the Switch Witch has replaced it all with fruits and vegetables and vitamins and stuff. And then they donate the candy to like I don't know where. I assume somewhere.
That's so horrible. Those kids would be so angry. Are you new to shaving or just
the guy who's reviewing our stuff. He created a Reddit account to review your soap.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is he the guy that doesn't like the dirt?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that guy.
No. He's, it's a subjective thing. Like, it's not that he didn't like it. He just said it was like stronger than he thinks it needs to be.
Oh, okay.
He's a very nice man.
Okay. Fine.
These are so cool.
Those are gonna be really awesome. I love this.
Somebody already actually ordered one.
Really fucking cool.
How do you do that so well? Oh wait, I know how.
Oh, shut up.
Welcome to the biggest solution in the universe. I'm Maddox. With me is Dick Masterson.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
Welcome back to another bonus episode. You guys, thanks for supporting this show.
Thank you, guys.
The bonus episode, the response has been overwhelming. You guys loved it. And, you know, if you really like the show, tell a friend, spread the word. Buy this for your friends, buy this for your enemies, buy this for people who may have, you know, maybe have never even heard anything before, and they're going to get that expensive surgery to hear for the first time. Let this be the first thing they hear.
Yeah. No, those inspiring videos, the cochlear implants on YouTube, this should be that intro song is the first thing that you want to hear when you get the gift of hearing for the first time.
Agreed?
I mean, whether your friends hate podcasts or love them, I feel like this is an appropriate gift.
Right. Yeah. So, Dick, we have solutions to talk about for the first time. The winner of the solutions, I guess, and I'm using only your phrasing of this. I don't think that it's a contest. It's never been a contest.
Okay.
Okay?
Well,
and
who
I'm not
won?
just saying that.
Who won? We had
Nobody
good
won because
solutions.
it's not a contest. It doesn't make sense to say it's a
Okay.
contest.
Who got more points than the other person?
The most votes got nuclear power. Okay.
I thought I lost. Really? I won with nuclear power?
You didn't win. You got more votes. Your solution got more votes. Big deal.
Wow.
Right.
I got eaten up on the comments on that one.
Yeah.
Everybody said I should have done more research.
Yes,
I
you
sounded
should have.
stupid.
You should have, Dick, because nuclear fusion is potentially a solution, not nuclear fission. And then,
Wait. What?
Yeah.
What's your problem with my solution?
Your
I'll tag you in it or
was
something.
Nuclear
He
power.
wrote a
No,
shitload.
nuclear fusion.
I didn't say nuclear fusion.
About how
I
it's
said
like his
nuclear
best
power.
performing
Whatever you got, I'll
product,
take.
all this
That's the
stuff.
solution.
But then you spent 35 minutes talking about nuclear fusion or fission.
That's a great. That's all I had time for. I had 15 minutes, man.
Oh, yeah. Except you went on for 35.
Now I'm afraid
Ben
to
came
talk.
kicking ass.
No, I don't think
Kicking
he
ass
watches
was
the
neck
live
and
stream.
neck for a long
I think
time.
he watches
Really?
it.
Yeah,
With
it
neck
was.
and neck with what?
Look at
With
this.
your nuclear
Back-to-back
horseshit.
abortions.
Then came meat with 666
These lifted off a
votes.
quarter inch,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
this one
These, baby.
lifted off a
And
quarter
then
inch. Or
your
that
bullshit
Is that bad or
surge
It's ruined.
pricing
See it? Because look how thin
got
it makes it. Once I cut off that
trounced.
part,
Yeah.
in the
I don't use that
voting.
much of
I
it.
saw that. I went pretty far in the red on that
I
one.
need to use the
Yeah,
whole
you
thing.
did.
I got some comments
See.
for you. Tim Johns.
I wish there was something we could
Farmville's The highlight of this episode for me is when Maddox told the
They're
story of
so
his
cool
father
looking.
pulling the shirt over the
You still
22-year-old
get
guy's
brush out of
head
it,
and
it looked
pounding
like
the
shit.
shit out of him.
Yeah, it's pretty
That was
cool.
a pretty good
Like
moment.
a tiny brush.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that I screwed up on, that the hot sauce challenge big loss.
Yeah, buddy, it was so funny, man. You blew it on that.
Yeah, well, Serena.
Oh, you know what
Cucina
sucks?
says it sounded like Maddox's.
I finally went to make this knife,
Into puberty.
And I was doing a great job.
Congrats to
I
both
accidentally
of you.
made one side
I got
twice.
a comment from
so
Michael
it's, like,
Angelo
fucked up.
Gedek.
They
He
were-
says surge
I was,
pricing
like,
was the
sanding
leaving
them
your
flat to
fly
the
open of
sides.
solutions.
Okay. What was that guy's name?
Michael Angelo
It went
Gedek.
Fuck you,
This.
Michael. Here's one from
So I had to order more wood.
Interment Hats. I don't think that's a real name. Gotta say I'm with Dick
The
here.
bolts are
Fear
super
of
cool,
nuclear energy is the Ebola alarmism of the energy
Huge
world.
and heavy.
He goes on to say,
You put them
check
through,
this out,
and you tighten it
that
down,
ash
and then you
released
sand
from a
and
coal
sand
plant
the heads down,
during
and it makes
normal
this little
operation
shinless, like you
is
see on,
100 times
That's
more
really cool.
radioactive.
I actually
than
didn't know that's how that works.
Apparently,
Yeah,
apparently it is.
Let me explain it, because I read the article they went to. It's
Yeah.
a Scientific American article, first of all, so it's not like my usual articles that I read.
Power plant isn't what alarmists are worried about. They're worried about the meltdown. That's not a byproduct. That just destroys the environment and the state and the
John Coral also said in an email about an actual nuclear powered cycle. Remember I said that was all the sparkly? Yeah. He said that and at the Westinghouse nuclear power plant at AC-1000. Meltdown proof. He said it in an email. You know it's true.
Okay, great. Yeah, real meltdown proof. I got a number of people in the comments commenting about how, now that we're doing the biggest solution, Jericho Slade says, the final solution, find out next time. So he said essentially we're trying to find the final solution here.
Oh, that's what we're looking for?
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a fun comment for you. It's from Kevin Ward, and he says, we talked about Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls left me with extremely high expectations for all video. I really want to know how Maddox plays Dark Souls 2. I'll tell you how he plays Dark Souls. First of all, he spends 45 minutes in the inventory. I don't know what he's doing.
That's what you do in the game, Dick. Full inventory shuffling. That's what you do.
And then a little message pops up saying somebody wants to fight, and he immediately gets killed by like a red guy.
Fuck you, that's fucking bullshit. Dick, that is slandering. I will sue you. I will sue you in court. You better check your inbox for a letter from my lawyer, buddy. Cease and desist.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, fuck you. That's bullshit, man. So look, guys. Dark Souls 2, first of all, isn't an RPG. I don't consider it an RPG. It's action RPG, if anything. You just go around with giant fucking swords, and the game is brutally difficult. It turns away so many people because they can't even get past the first level, or in some cases, not even past the first enemy. I gave it someone one time. They can't get past the first guy, the first enemy in the game.
Sorry, you dated someone who couldn't even pass the first level in the game.
Yeah, so we broke up.
You're making girls on video games.
Yeah, what do you know? I let them. I don't make them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got one from Oliver Elmady. I guess I should be thanking Dick for surf pricing and showing our existence. Surf pricing on Jackson.
Okay, Dick, it's not. First of all, there's no surge. It's not a surge. Look, there's a difference between surge pricing and pricing. What we're doing is just pricing. Surge pricing is
Hey, this is the guy who called in and thought, Jake was 2004 Nadal. But I'm sorry, but I thought he was 2004 Nadal. Nadal, this person wants you. And I know you like to do stuff from the younger years, so he's not entirely allowed to tell, but he has a message to this.
That's weird.
Oh, lame, dude. That does sound like your fan. A big pussy.
No, this is weird.
Yeah.
Hey, this is James. Walking.
It's done so far with me pretty good, actually. Oh yeah.
To give you a boner. I can't think of a single thing I'd rather do less than to give that man an erection. And I will not, I repeat, post that shit on the website just because he wants to get off to it. No way.
Okay,
No fucking
that's
way.
fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair explanation.
Yeah. Is that what you got?
Yeah,
for
that's the
voicemail?
voicemails I got.
Well, Dick, I have a voicemail from a listener. His name's Angelo.
Okay.
And it's not actually a voicemail, it's a video that he recorded. So Angelo records these videos of his mom. And some of them gone really viral on the internet. She even did a video with Tim and Eric from the Tim and Eric show.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
Yeah.
What did she do with Tim and Eric?
She did a cooking contest and definitely was not in on the bit. So she
Okay.
took it really seriously. And I think got offended.
Oh.
But she's the type of person, she gets offended pretty easily.
Oh, great.
Well, I wouldn't even say
Alright.
pretty easily because she's a fan of my stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But, Dick, Angelo played her the video of you on Dr. Phil,
Okay.
right? And so here's some excerpts from the video of her watching you on Dr. Phil.
Oh, I
Here's-
can't wait.
yeah, here's what she has to say. Here's what she starts out with.
Women should not be allowed to vote. It's ridiculous.
Oh, shut up. You jackass.
Yeah, Dick, you jackass.
Jackass.
Yeah, she didn't like that at all. Here's what she says.
Listen, you jackass. You cannot live without the woman trying to live by yourself. Not only that, and woman gives the best baby. I hate him. I hate him. Take his jerk out of my face.
Yeah, she
Who
hates
am I?
you.
I'm on TV, and you're not, baby.
Whoa.
That's who I am.
Hey, she's been on with Tim and Eric, dude. I take Tim and Eric over Dr. Phil
Oh,
any day. Yeah, so she said
This is a guy's mom, and he's just
Yeah.
playing her my clips from Dr. Phil and then recording the outrage.
Oh yeah, it goes on, man. She has so many messages for you. Listen to this.
Yeah, well, Maddox, I don't know what kind of friend this is you have, but I can tell you this guy is a jerk.
Yeah.
What?
A jork.
I'm a jork?
Yeah.
Is this what the women in, is she Greece? Is she from Greece?
She's Greece,
Is that
yeah.
is this what the women in Greece are like? No wonder that that country's in the shitter.
No,
if I was a Greek man and I had to wake up next to that, I'd go straight to the fucking bar. That's what I would do.
You're blaming Greeks' economic downfall on women?
No, on her specifically.
Oh, on her specifically.
On Angelo's mom specifically.
Well, that sounds
Brighten up. Put a smile on it, lady.
Yeah. Well, Dick, she has a question for you.
Go ahead.
Here's her question.
Let me ask you something. If you're not gay, can you live without a woman?
Yeah, Dick, can you?
If I'm not gay?
If you're not gay, can you?
I don't think that was necessary, was
you?
it? The gay part?
Yeah, here's another question, Dick.
And he's on the internet and they let him be there?
Yeah.
I can't believe they let you be on the internet.
Look, lady, in America, you're allowed to sound like a jerk on the internet. I don't know how it is in Greece, but over here in the land of the free, you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know, Dick. Well, she has a message for you. Here's what she has to say to you.
Let me tell you something. You suck. You nobody. You talk like that about women, you nobody. You zero.
Zero.
You nobody. Dug a hole and put himself in there.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you dug a hole and put yourself in there, Dick?
Oh man, straight to the bar. That'd be me waking up in Greece with one of these broads.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you some tips, Angelo's mom.
Well, there's still more.
Oh,
She has
there's
a few
more?
Yeah, there's a few
Okay.
more things she wanted to say to you.
Let me tell you something. Why don't you go home and suck a lemon?
Yeah, what do you suck a lemon, Dick? and here's some more. Here's some more. This is what she thinks of you, Dick. Here's what she thinks of your message, your whole persona, your whole ethos. Here's what she has to say to you, Dick.
Go to hell.
Oh.
You came out a woman. Don't you have any respect about your mother? You ugly piece of humanity. Don't you have any respect about your mother? What your mother say about that?
Yeah.
The poor woman.
The poor woman, Dick. What does your mother have to say about that? You ugly piece of humanity. That's it. That's all she has to say for that.
That's it?
Oh, well, the video goes on and on, but those are the excerpts I got from it.
Always about my mother. Always go straight for my mother. What's the deal?
She's concerned about your poor mother, Dick, as am I.
I don't think so. That didn't sound like concern to me. That sounded like rage.
Yeah.
So, Angelo's mom, next time you do that, put your thoughts together a little more, because you sound like a gibbering ape, screaming about being an ugly piece of humanity and talking about my mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Dick, here's what she has to say to you.
You are so stupid, man. This guy is dumb.
Dick, I have so many clips from that video. I have created an entirely new soundboard based on that one video and Angelo's mom. So here
You're
it
so
is.
fucking happy. Look at you. It's like an early Christmas present that some woman would call in to scream at me.
Yeah, I love it so much. So here is, for the first time, without further ado, the new soundboard. I'm just gonna go through these. Here's some of the new clips you'll be hearing on the show. Listen to this one.
Go to hell, man.
Yeah. Go to hell, Dick. Listen to this one.
You are a jackass.
Yeah. Jackass. Listen to this one.
This guy is stupid.
Stupid. and so, and of course, she has that question.
And who are you, gay?
Yeah. Are
Is
you
that what
gay,
we're
Dick?
doing? We're throwing around homophobic epithets
No.
now on this show?
She's wondering if you are because you hate women so
Oh,
much.
she's just asking.
She's asking.
She's
You
just
are
asking
gay?
questions.
Yeah.
You are gay?
Yeah. that's how it sounds when you're just asking questions.
Hey,
are you gay?
She's inquisitive, man.
Yeah.
But in the video, she actually does say, no, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But she does think you might be gay.
Go to hell and stay there.
Yeah. Stay there, Dick. Here's this
Oh
one.
man. Hey,
Yeah.
if the women that were available were all like you, Angelo's mom, maybe I would be gay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's what she thinks of you.
You dumb shit.
Mouth on this woman.
Yeah, she also thinks you're crazy.
Say, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something about my mom. She doesn't swear like that.
Well, maybe she should.
That's because Angelo's mom, she's not like school in summertime. No class.
That sounds pretty crazy.
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 Yeah. Dick, it sounds like you're a little bit
You so arrogant.
arrogant.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take that. That's a fair cow.
Uh-huh. And listen to this one.
I never heard such a dumb thing.
Yeah. That's
Me?
I'll be using that a lot. Yeah, I'll be using that one a
All
lot.
right. Is this? I've had enough of this. Is this your solution today, or what?
Shut the hell up. You are a shithead.
This is exactly what you needed. Another goddamn soundboard.
You have shit in your head. You suck.
Oh man, I'm gonna have so much. I haven't even played all of them. I got so many.
Oh,
I got so many.
Angela, will you tell your mom to relax?
No.
Tell her it's all right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Tell
I
her
think-
I'm a nice guy.
Well, he can lie to her. Why would he lie to his mom?
Gosh, she sounds so upset, man.
Yeah, She's not upset. She's questions your sexual orientation and whether or not you're a dumb shit and or have shit in your head. So anyway, Dick, you'll be hearing some of those sound clips throughout the rest of the series for the rest of this, the duration of this.
That's why we drink, ladies. Straight to the bar. Waking up next to that. Straight to the fucking bar.
That's fair, Dick.
All
Dick, let's talk about some solutions, shall we?
So this week, on this week's episode, I engendered a lot of ill will, you might say,
Yeah.
with my stance on mandatory holiday shifts. Do you remember that?
That was the last week's episode, not the bonus episode, but last week's episode.
Yeah, last
right?
week's regular episode. I think
Right.
it was 28. You brought in mandatory holiday shifts, and I was against it.
Right.
I was for them. I believe that if a company's paying you to work, you decide to work, you show up.
Right.
It's a simple interaction for me.
Yeah, sounds fair, except in the case where you sign up for that job without the expectation to have a mandatory holiday shift.
Well, I'll tell you what. I brought in a solution for that problem.
Oh, let's hear it.
That's a universal solution because, in all honesty, I think it's the most useful solution we're ever going to have on this show.
Okay.
And that it deserves to be the biggest in the universe. Here it is. Ready?
Yeah.
Ask for a raise.
Ask for... Dick, why do you phrase it like that? Why do you say ask for a raise? Your fucking phrasing on this is insane.
What do you mean? Why?
Dick, if you want to say, hey, if somebody says, what do you think a solution is in society? A solution for this problem XYZ, right? You come in and you say, ask for a raise is the solution. No, it's asking for a raise. You have to say the verb, asking for a raise.
Ask is still a verb.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound right. Ask for a raise is not a solution.
Say, hey, what's your problem? I got a problem. I'm feeling shitty about my job. Hey, solution, ask for a raise.
Yeah, that's
rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, that's a whole paragraph, dude. If I was just going to say one of the solutions in the universe is asking for a raise. Dick, you want to use your horseshit phrasing? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. You're talking to the winner. I'm 1 for 1.
Wow.
There's been one winner of the bonus episode podcast, and it's me. So I'll phrase it however the fuck I want. Ask for a raise.
You dumb shit.
So I did some research on this.
Yeah.
Check this out. CBS News says, so here's what my thinking is.
Yeah.
What I hear ubiquitously is people complaining about their jobs. In this case, the mandatory holiday shifts.
Yeah.
Complaining about the money, complaining about the station in their lives. But I'm wondering, do you ever just go ask for a raise?
Yeah, a lot of people do, Dick.
Not as many as you think. How many would you think? Like, honestly, they're like, you know...
What do you ask me, a percentage?
Yeah, let's go with the percentage.
A percentage of employees who ask for a raise?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to guess about 20%.
Okay. Well, that's extremely low, though.
No, 20% sounds about right, because I'm thinking about the people who get promoted at work, and it's usually about 20% of the workforce, because those are the ones who are go-getters, and they're ambitious, and they're trying to get someplace with their life. Those are the type of people who would ask for a raise, myself included.
Okay, so I actually found stats on this. And at first, I started looking for how often do people ask for raises. That gave me nothing. So I said, okay, how often do women ask for raises, right?
Why?
Because that's all you ever hear about. Like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So I actually found on CBS News, 44% of men and 48% of, was it the other way around? Yeah, 44% of women, 48% of men ever ask for raises.
Right.
That's less than half.
Yeah. I thought it would be lower, actually. I thought it'd be lower, because people are too afraid. They don't have the resolve. They don't have the grit. They don't have the balls, baby.
Yeah, that's crazy to me, man. And it says, from that same study, 25% of people said they got more money they were expecting when they asked for a raise. 38% said that they got the raise they were expecting. So that's, what is that? 63% got money by just asking for it?
That's pretty good odds.
The numbers should be 100%. That's more than half of people are not asking for raises. That's crazy.
No, Dick, because you're gambling. You're throwing the dice every time. If you walk into your boss's office and you say, hey, man, I'd like a raise, and your boss thinks, well, this guy seems pretty entitled. He or she hasn't done anything to deserve a raise. So I might actually put him or her on the chopping block, because not only are they doing a subpar or average job, but now they want more money? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, though. I think that's what people think. But I don't agree that that's what their bosses are thinking. I think their bosses are panicking just to have them there. Like, if everybody is going to collectively say that they have any power, the people working these jobs, they should say, look, my time is fucking valuable. Asking for more money is there's no consequence to it. That's the part of this that I don't believe. That putting yourself out there and saying, hey, this is my time. I'm exchanging the quantum of my life for money. I would like more of it. I don't think that's going to be punished.
Yeah, I don't know, Dick. I think if somebody's not doing something that's above and beyond the call of duty, they're not pushing the envelope for their expectations, they don't deserve a raise. And if they ask for it, they're going to look entitled and weak. You know what, Dick?
So you're telling people not to ask for a raise?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's even a solution. Because, well, it could be a solution, but it's not a problem. Because the type of person who would ask for a raise already is cognizant and self-aware of their value and their worth. And they know that they are contributing to the company a disproportionate amount.
No, because people, you've said this before.
It's Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah, it's people who are delusional about what they contribute, think they're doing a good job, and they're the ones more likely to ask for a raise.
Wait a second, Dick. That sounds like an argument in my favor. Because that sounds like inept people are asking for raises.
Right. So if you actually feel like you're in any way, like if you're even cognizant of the fact that there's a difference between competent and incompetence, you should be asking for a raise all the time.
Yeah. Well, how do you address the Dunning-Kruger effect? How do you address the effect that people who are capable and adept are less likely to think they are, and people who are unqualified and inept are more likely to think that they are more qualified? How do you address that problem?
Very simply, ignore it.
Okay, Dick.
Ask for more money. That's my solution. That's the biggest solution. That's more important than meat. It's more important than nuclear fucking power. Yeah. It's even more important than surge pricing.
This guy is dumb.
That sounds so dumb.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Really weird
I have asked for...
So, like, I don't know if it's like the humidity or what, but it dries like that.
Oh.
And then I have to sand it back. I think it's still wet.
Looks good though.
I think it's gonna be. I don't want it. Yeah, it's wet.
That's maybe one of the prettier brushes I've ever seen.
Yeah, the indigo is really nice. The next one I did, I went heavier on the blue, but still used a little purple. It's still in the pot. Not, I think. I know it is. It's not ready to come out. These little things are so hard to tell. But yeah, everything is weird to work with. It's cool.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
You need like a closed-in working area, I guess.
Yeah, I mean like
You should turn Rose's room into a workroom.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's the review. I'll send it to you. It's very long, as you can see.
Yeah, can I go read it? No. I am curious. Yeah, I am.
Before. At my old job.
Did you get it?
I sure as shit did.
One for one.
Well, however,
100% my stats.
But here's the thing. Here's when I felt qualified. I felt justified in asking for a raise. I went to my boss. So I wrote this computer program. We had this program at my old job that we had to run at the end of every single night in every single call center. I worked for a telemarketing company, and we had something like 20 call centers, right?
Right.
Every single call center had to run a program that would take 45 minutes to an hour to complete. And while that program was running, they had to pay 2 IT staff members to sit around waiting for that program to finish so they could put those reports on the manager's desk at the end of the night, right?
Okay.
I rewrote that program and optimized it. So it went down from 45 minutes to 3.
So you cut those two people's jobs, kind of?
No, I just cut their hours.
Okay.
I just cut their hours a bit.
It's the Grinch. It's the Grinch of jobs.
Okay, Dick, I can't win with you. What do I do?
So what happened? So you asked for a raise after that because you saved the company so much money?
I saved the company over $200,000 or $300,000. I did the math and I showed my boss. I said, "Hey man, I'm saving you guys $300,000 by rewriting this one fucking program. How about throwing a little bit my way?" I got a tiny little raise. I was making $7 an hour at that time.
Yeah.
I got bumped up to I think $9.50.
$7 an hour. When was this? 1964?
No,
Christ.
this was like the year 2000. I was severely underpaid at my job. I eventually got more money, but I was making like $7, $8 an hour as a programmer.
Let me tell you where you fucked up there, man. You waited until you did something that you could prove you were worth something. If you'd have just walked in and asked for it, you probably would have got the same raise. Like, what if? Let's say there's a reality where I'm like quantum leaping into you for a day, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna fuck up Maddox's life so bad. I'm gonna go see a bunch of whores. I'm gonna tell his parents and his friends to go F themselves, and I'm gonna walk into his boss's office and demand a raise.
Yeah.
What if they'd have given it to you then?
If I just walked in out of nowhere?
Yeah, because you can't ever be sure.
Yeah, but then I would also look like that entitled dipshit. I've worked with people, Dick, where they come to me and I give them a set amount and I say, this is what what my budget is. This is what I'm willing to pay. And then before they even complete the job, they ask for more money. I said, you know what? Fuck you. Get out of here. You're dumb.
Crazy.
What is the context that you're saying this in?
I've hired people for illustration work. I've hired people for design work. I've hired people to do just manual labor type stuff. You know, I've worked for people in the past, and when people demand more money before they complete the job or before they prove themselves to me, then, you know, see ya, buddy. Hit the road, Jack.
Hey, man, all I'm saying is not all bosses are as, I don't know, what do you call it, as you. Not all bosses are as on top of it as you are,
Oh,
you know?
Thank you, Dick.
You take a big company like Walmart, who's
Yeah.
forcing these people to work holiday hours, right?
Yeah.
If you're working at Walmart, go in there every fucking day and ask for a raise. What's the consequence?
The consequence is you get laid off because people might be banging down their doors for that job.
Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of the Walmarts.
Dick, let me give you an example. The video game industry is notorious for its working conditions. They have some of the shittiest working conditions known to anyone. Just ask anyone who's worked for one of the big companies like EA or Activision or whatever. They work crazy long hours, and if you complain about it, let alone ask for a raise, they'll say, hey, okay, you don't like your job? We got 1 billion people waiting at the door, banging our doors down for this job. You're lucky to have it, buddy.
Man, I'm honestly really surprised to hear you have this reaction to my solution. I don't know if you're arguing with me over the solution or if you actually think that people shouldn't ask for a raise more.
I think that the people who do ask for a raise, they're the right people who are asking for raises.
I think that the number's way off. I think it should be, like, even counting for people who are mediocre employees, I think it should be at least about 80%. From 50?
Dick, you've overseen employees before, right?
Yeah,
How many?
a bunch. What does it matter?
Well, let's say it's 10. Let's say all 10 people every day come to you at the start of the day and say, hey, Dick, how about a raise?
What am I going to do, start firing people?
Well,
Just instantly?
You don't
know
think
how
it's
hard it
annoying?
is to replace people? Well, it's fucking hard. It's more expensive than giving them a raise. Listen to this. Out of the 28% of women in the U.S. have asked for a promotion, right? Compared to 40% of men. 17% got a new role. 42% got the role they asked for. Again, over 50. If you're going to do something with the success rate of over 50%, I say go for it.
yeah, well,
Right? If you're going to ask a girl out, man, I'll ask a girl out when the success rate is 1%. This is 50%? Fuck it, do it every day.
when have you gotten 1%?
On women?
Yeah.
Depends on how drunk I am.
Close to 0 all the time.
Oh, you think, is that a for real comment?
No.
Yeah,
No.
you're out of your mind.
Dick, I would say you're like batting like 30 or 40. Right?
30-40%?
Yeah. Women you ask out?
On the women, honestly, if I would divide it between drunk and sober.
Okay. Well, is it higher or lower when you're drunk?
I don't know.
There's the introspective Dick Masterson.
Women don't ask for raises. Guys aren't asking enough.
You know, Dick, it's interesting. So I read this study a while back
Yeah.
that was put out by some women's group. It was the Women's Labor Movement or something. I forget what the name is, but they did a study about the discrepancy of the wage gap discrepancy, right, in America. And once they controlled for all these variables, I'm actually working on a video about this, and it's gonna fucking blow the lid off of this fucking study. But once they control for all the variables, right?
Walter Cronkite.
Oh yeah. I am. I'm the petty Walter Cronkite. So once you control for all the variables that account for differences in wage gaps, for example, the number one reason is that men and women prefer different types of jobs. They just do. The second reason is because of education levels and different experience levels and different tenure and different, once you control for all these variables, and if you look at the same industry and compare women and men, they make about 94 to 97% of the same wage, right? So they said, well, that doesn't explain the remaining gap, which is pretty much the margin of error. But once you've eliminated that, one possible explanation for the remaining wage gap is this discrepancy that you're talking about, the likelihood of women to ask for raises than men.
Yeah.
They said women are less likely than men to ask for raises, and that could explain the discrepancy, the remaining discrepancy.
20% of adult women never negotiate at all. Never.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because it's hard. It's hard to demand money for your time. It's easy to do it online. It's easy to complain online. It's easy to get in a big group of people striking.
Well, why is
or
it? Why?
something.
So Dick, you just made my point. Why is it hard? I said at the
Because
top
people
of
are
this.
afraid.
And what are they afraid of?
I think the fear is more general. I think that what you're explaining, the like you might get fired, is just an explanation they have for a more general fear they have.
They're
Like I don't
afraid
think
of
it's as
confrontation.
logical as you're saying.
Yeah. Well, potentially, but I think there might be some other underlying reason. Well, here's the thing, Dick. We can speculate all we want, but unless we have some research and stats to actually suggest what the problem is. But you think
Hey,
that
I
they're
got
afraid.
stats for you.
Yeah.
I say we have an Ask for a Raise Day, a National Ask for a Raise Day, where everybody goes in and asks for a raise.
Terrible idea.
Why?
Because you're suddenly competing with every other employee. So that eliminates any advantage you might have.
All right, man.
Yeah. Okay, Dick. Is
You
that
got
all you got?
anything else?
Yeah. No, is that all you got on your
Yeah.
problem?
Yeah.
Your solution, rather.
Yeah.
or problem. Okay, Dick, I got a real solution here. All right?
What's up?
One of the biggest problems in the universe, I think, is lack of education. And you know who's trying to help solve that?
Okay.
Yeah?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah? The name is Malala Yousafzai. Have you heard of her?
No. I just wanna be clear. You're naming your solution
Yeah.
Malala Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai.
Okay. So when I said my solution was ask for a raise and you threw a big fit,
Yeah.
you're naming your solution the name of a girl.
Right.
And that's okay for you.
Of course. It's like naming Einstein. Einstein's a potential solution.
So if someone would come to you and say, hey, I have a problem with my car, it's not starting, you say, here's the solution, Einstein.
No, you would say, here's the solution, mechanics. There you go. It's a thing.
Take
it's
it
an
to a
occupation.
mechanic. Take it to a mechanic is what you
No,
say.
that's not how you phrase it. You would just say mechanics is the solution to your broken car. You wouldn't say take it to a mechanic. What's the solution? Take it to a mechanic. Well, okay, that sounds clunky as shit. Whatever, Dick.
I sound clunky? You sound like you're learning English as a second language, just reading off mechanic.
I never heard such a dumb thing.
God damn it. All right, go ahead. So what's this girl all about?
Malala Yousafzai. She's a 16-year-old Pakistani girl who was shot point blank range in the face by the Taliban.
Okay.
Because she was protesting to make sure that women could get an education. Okay, so I have a little game here, Dick.
Okay.
I brought in a little game here. This is a new game. Try to guess if I'm talking about Malala Yousafzai or Tom and Katie Holmes' daughter, Suri Cruz.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so first of all...
I have a feeling like this would be an easy game.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
She has a wardrobe totaling over $3 million.
Yeah.
Including $21,000 Dolce & Gabbana trench coat and a rack of Juicy Couture Marc Jacobs dresses. Is that Suri or Malala?
Oh gosh, let me think.
Yeah.
Is any of it bulletproof for dealings with the Taliban?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to go Suri Cruz.
Correct! That was Suri Cruz.
Great.
Okay. Okay, the next one. Her first name means grief-stricken.
That's got to be Katie Holmes, right? Is she on the list?
No, she's not. But that was actually Malala. Incorrect, Dick. Her first name means princess. This isn't even a joke. Her name means princess in Hebrew. Suri, and by the way, it also means pickpocket in Japanese.
Oh.
Yeah. She lives in a 6,000 square foot home in a gated community. Suri.
Sorry.
Yeah. Now, here's an audio question, okay? Whose mom is this? Is this Katie Holmes or Malala's mom, Tor Pikai? Okay, here's the clip. Let me see if you can guess whose mom this is.
All right.
This is on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
My daughter's 8 years old, and she already has her Christmas list ready.
Is it written out?
It's written out. She's very organized.
Mm-hmm.
And I start to I get a little bit of a panic because you cannot screw up talking to Santa. You cannot miss any item on that list because if you screw that up, I mean, that's years and years of hearing about it and probably therapy.
Right.
Oh, probably therapy.
I'm gonna blow my
Yeah.
That's
Does that make you
awful.
Does that make you want to vomit? Does that make you sick? This is.
It annoys me.
Yeah, this
There
is
we
Suri
go.
Cruz.
Yeah, baby.
Her mom is afraid of missing an item on her Christmas list. God forbid she misses an item on Suri's fucking precious Christmas list. Princess. Suri Princess Cruz. Meanwhile, Malala Yousafzai was shot point blank in the face by terrorists, survived
It's
brain
wet, so don't
swelling
touch it.
and brain clots,
Yeah.
became septic due to faulty tubes and
I'm
machines.
pretty happy with that. Like,
Had
that's
to have
exactly
surgery.
what I was
The
going
bullet
for.
traveled
So.
1,000 feet
I
per
really
second.
do
It's
think
more
penetrated
indigo
her
than I
skin,
like, but-
ricocheted
Well,
through
and I
her
really do
eardrum,
think, though, that
severed
that
a nerve
is
in her
the
face, and embedded
density
in her
of color
shoulder.
that he was asking for.
It is. It's what I was aiming for. I just forget
Yeah.
that when it's in the thing, it's
However,
hard
are
to see
her
it.
parents
But
still
it has the
together?
perfect effect of the mountains. Like, it's
Hello.
exactly how it should be.
These lines going
Speaking of
back in
broken homes,
perspective
maybe
in it
this will
because
help,
it
because her
makes
mom
it,
surprised
yeah.
her with a
Totally
$24,000
Oh, yeah,
grand
totally.
Victorian playhouse
I
for
only have-
Christmas.
Oh, I have
Equipped
that
with
thing full of
running
wood and
water,
I have this much
electricity, and
here.
extensive
These are
landscaping.
super long, so I have a lot of.
Sure, her
Yeah.
fucking Victorian playhouse has running water.
Yeah.
Some of the villages in Pakistan don't have running water.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we're dealing with. This is what American kids have to
What
aspire
are we
to.
dealing with? What are we dealing with here? Surrey Cruise? That's who we're dealing with?
No,
What's
we're
the
dealing with-
solution?
the
This
solution-
just sounds like an anti-Surrey Cruise
I'm
rant.
gonna do one of these in the morning. I think.
This is a news clip from ABC News. When Malala Yousafzai
So this one, the guy
survived the
ordered
bullet.
it, and he's
Listen
something
how
like that long.
amazing this is.
So he gets pretty much the
The
whole thing.
bullet took a path that simply cannot be believed.
Yeah,
The
it's not at
chances
all.
of being
But-
shot
so
at
these
point
I'll
blank
probably do in
range in the
half,
head
make
and that
Chevy
happening,
styles.
I don't know.
So,
But it is amazing, truly amazing. I don't know why she survived.
A bullet traveling 1,000 feet per second slips
all
under
this together,
Malala's skin.
I think
But
it's like
as it heads toward her brain, that bone turns out to be so strong and curved, it forces the bullet to ricochet away, and instead smashes her eardrum, severs the nerve in her face,
Look at all these.
and hits
I
her
just posted
shoulder.
an Instagram
Yeah.
thing with just the
She had a
bees.
bullet embedded in her shoulder because she stood up to the Taliban for the rights of people to get educated.
Well, what's the solution, though?
That guy
She
Have a
is
thick
the
skull?
solution. No, no, Dick. Because if that were
very
the
I mean, a lot of
case,
guys
it
have
would-
tried to
yeah.
get shot, and
Which
it
is what
didn't
you
fail.
want, right?
Yeah.
I don't think this solution would work for like JFK.
Who's tried to get shot? Who tried to get shot and failed?
My YouTube playlist is
I
full of
have
times there's
shoes
that cop
and a
that
hoodie
shot
on. Well, I guess you have a
himself
video,
in
but it's a
the leg.
girl
Remember that
hoodie that's
You wait, just go home and watch it.
Yeah,
relax.
pretty much.
Yeah, just relax.
Loki
Yeah.
peed on my pajama pants, so
Yeah, I
I
remember
busted
that.
out those
You know,
like,
Dick,
micro fleece
people
ones
like
that I
this.
have.
Okay, the
Yeah.
16-year-old
So last
girl.
night I was
And by
like,
the way,
why is he
so Katie Holmes' mom is on the Ellen
Wait a minute,
DeGeneres show.
taking
She
a
was home
stand
inside
against
all day
impossible
yesterday.
odds? Is that what you
Might
did?
be
Is that what you're saying? What's asking for a raise? And they're not impossible odds. They're 50-50.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Okay, then those aren't impossible odds.
Yeah,
You
I'm
just
really happy
only
with
when
it.
it's
Actually, let me
impossible?
pop the other
Yeah, it sounds
guy.
like you just shot your solution in the head.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, while she was operated on, so Katie Holmes' mom is on the Ellen DeGeneres show, saying that her daughter might have to get therapy because she doesn't get all the items on her Christmas list. Yeah.
She was joking.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, I think
I'm not
she was
sure.
joking.
I'm not sure. Meanwhile, the doctor who operated on Malala has never seen her cry. She didn't even wince, cry, or even flinch when the needles entered her body. She's stoic as fuck. This girl's so tough. This girl's so badass. So, Surrey Cruz's mom surprised her with that $24,000 Grand Victorian playhouse, right?
Right.
Meanwhile, Malala lived with her 2 young brothers and 2 pet chickens.
lines of
She stood up to terrorists and got shot in
Yeah,
the face.
so I did. The background is
This
black,
is what we
purple,
need more of in this
blue,
world.
and
People
equal
who are
amounts.
willing to stand
I
up
mixed
for
a
their
shitload of
beliefs
white
and
in a little
die for
cup
their beliefs.
and poured
And this
it
is a
on, and it
16-year-old
looked
girl
like-
with that kind of conviction. She sat
Or
down
like
with Obama,
conditioner.
and instead of gushing, like,
I
I'm
streaked
sorry.
it through,
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
in the end,
You know
I
who else
you
stood
can see
up
where I
to
pulled it.
terrorists like
Right,
that?
it looks like Van
George
Gogh.
W.
Swirls.
Bush.
No, he fucking did it, that
Really
fucking
nice.
coward.
He didn't even have
That pussy.
evidence to stand up to terrorists, and he said, you know what, fuck it, I believe that they're bad, well, I'm going to stand up to them.
Fucking Old West dumb shit. He got,
That's beautiful.
yeah, he thought this was the
That's-
Wild West. He
I'm
put
gonna
on his
get some good
cowboy hat
pictures
like a
of these. I know.
dumbass. Look, he raised morale.
What did he do
Dry
that
yet.
was different than,
Oh yeah,
than
it's
this
been
girl
really
that you
nice.
brought in?
You mean other than not get
Yeah,
shot
I'm really
in the
happy with it.
face?
It's funny how like
Maybe.
the ones that I
And
expect to be
so-
really
so
good
here's
a
the
lot of
thing, here's
times
the
kind of
thing.
shit out,
This girl,
and then the ones that I think are going to be
the
terrible
world
sometimes end up really nice.
$50,000.
Did you ever do the
You
Harry
know what she
Potter
did with
thing
it?
all the way?
She
What do you mean, all the way?
all of
Did
it.
anyone
Rebuilt
buy it,
65
or-
schools.
I gave
With $50,000,
2 of them
she
away.
rebuilt 65
Yeah.
schools.
To
So
friends,
with half the price
but,
of Surrey Cruise's
Kind of a
Grand
hard
Victorian
thing to sell,
Playhouse.
like a Harry
I
Potter.
haven't
built,
listed on the site
what's
though.
that,
When it's on
33
Etsy,
schools?
I'll sell a million
Yeah.
of them because
33 schools she could
most
build for
people
the
find
cost
my
of her
thing through
fucking
Etsy
boy.
organically, not through.
Not
This is what makes the rest of the world pissed off. They look at us and they say,
Upload
well,
shit
fuck
to
this.
fucking-
And this is what the little girls in America are aspiring to rather than Malala Yousafzai because she has a weird name. Yeah,
They
Surrey
still
Cruise.
haven't fixed
Well,
it.
I don't think it's because she has a weird name. I think it's because, you know, we don't have to fight terrorists to go to school.
It's so
It's not
calm
really
and quiet
relevant
out.
to little
Yeah,
girls.
it's nice.
Yeah, but here's what. Well, no, but here's what is relevant. Here's what every time you pull up fucking Jezebel or Exo Jane or any of these Mike.com or Vox.com or Polygon, fucking all they do is rage about Spider-Woman comic book covers.
Yeah.
And they rage about the cover of Cosmopolitan and women being photoshopped. This is the problem. These are the problems, right? Meanwhile, little girls are getting shot in the face just so they have a chance to be educated. Just so they can become a doctor. You know why? You know why this is so important, Dick? She inspired her friend, Kainat, to become a gynecologist because women in Pakistan can't even go to male doctors because they can't show their bodies. This is what women in Pakistan are dealing with. Meanwhile, in America, the front cover of Exo Jane and all these fucking feminist screeds are bitching about comic book covers. This is the problem. This is what feminism should be today. Not this fucking horse shit that we're peddling our time away on. This is why people are pissed off.
Well,
it's
what
not feminism.
shouldn't be that? Like, what are we finding? Like the lowest common denominator? We're finding like the most abused, the most tired, the most wretched mass of people on earth, and we're helping them. That's just not how we work. Like, it's just not. I want to be entertained. Okay, I want to help out a little bit. I want a little bit of altruism, but honestly, at the end of the day, everybody's just got to get through it. You know?
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, I'm the asshole for saying that. Yet every fucking person in the world spends their money to agree with me.
Dick, what you're saying is what we are, not why. And not why we should change. You're not saying that. You're just saying, here's how we are. We are what we are, man. What can we do? We're
So
the
what's
scorpions.
the solution? Have more of this girl?
Yes.
Give her a talking point? Give her a mouthpiece?
Yeah, well, she sat down with Obama, and instead of gushing his praises like a fangirl, she told him that drone attacks in Pakistan are fueling terrorism. So think about that. It took a 16-year-old girl to point out that what the dipshits in our government still haven't figured out. When drones attack targets, innocent victims are killed, which leads to resentment among Pakistani people. And that's what fuels terrorism. Right? George fucking W. Bush couldn't figure that out. She wants Obama to instead focus on education in these countries, rather than fucking fueling terrorism with more innocent victims that are killed with drone attacks.
Yeah, I don't know. We
got
a lot of problems here. Look, I don't really think we need to go around the world spending more money setting up schools. All right? Let them figure it out.
Yeah, Dick.
Well, is that like the worst thing to say?
Dick, it's an investment in our national security to have these other countries educated. You know that female genital mutilation problem I mentioned? Hold on.
Okay,
You know, I mentioned that problem, the female genital mutilation, on a couple episodes back. What was it, like number 5 or 6 or something?
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. And what can solve that problem, according to UNICEF, is higher education. So that would solve that problem. That would solve the problem of terrorism. These are ignorant people who are blowing themselves up.
I agree. Start a Kickstarter. Stop taking it out of the taxes.
Great.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, you're so passionate about it. It's such a great idea. Put it on the internet. People whip out their credit cards, problem solved.
Dick, you know how much these missiles cost? Like, we're shooting these missiles.
I don't want to shoot them either.
Great. Well, for the cost of one of those missiles, we could build hundreds of schools just by one missile, and that would have such a positive impact in this world, in this part of the world.
Yeah.
That would solve problems for generations to come. It would help them be able to bootstrap themselves and get out of the rut that they're in, this rut of ignorance and suicide bombs and this culture that creates genital mutilation. That's what would solve this problem. And little girls like Malala Yousafzai are standing up to terrorists. She got shot in the face. She had bullet powder on her hands. She fell down face first and was covered in blood and didn't even cry.
It's a very visceral account of getting shot.
Yeah.
I just think it's a very complicated problem. That's all.
Well,
Not solved by, I don't know. I don't even know what the solution is. I get that she's a badass, but I don't know how that. It's just like a Chuck Norris thing. Like,
no.
How does this apply to the problem?
Because she inspires people, Dick. She's the youngest recipient of a Nobel Prize. You know that?
Great.
She won a Nobel Prize. Why? Why are you so unimpressed by that, Dick? Have you won a Nobel Prize?
No.
Really?
Surprisingly not.
Wow, surprise. Yeah.
You are a jackass.
Like she won a Nobel Prize for what? Surviving getting shot?
I believe it was the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, they give that one out to get publicity.
You know, I was pissed off when they gave it. Like a lot of
like,
people.
Did they give her $1 million too? What did she do with that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure she. Well, I bet she probably invested it in the community. Look, this girl's a 16-year-old girl. She comes from a humble background, humble life. She doesn't have a $24,000 Victorian house with running water and electricity. She's
Hey,
grew
she
up with
also
two
doesn't
chickens.
have what you have, by the way.
Yeah.
If we're gonna demonize Suri Cruz, like she doesn't even have what you and I have.
Who?
So
Oh,
this
Malala.
girl, Malala, yeah, she doesn't have what you and I have. So how are we any better than Suri Cruz? We're fucking not.
Well, I don't know that she doesn't have a PlayStation 3 with Dark Souls 2. She
She
might be
doesn't.
she might
She
be a
doesn't.
phantom. She might be invading me, dude. I could have sworn I saw someone named Malala on there the other day. Fucking cheeked me in the corner. Spell builds are the worst too, by the way. Magician's stupid. Anyway, dude, Malala Yousafzai, she's an inspiration. She's encouraging people to stand up to the Taliban. She's encouraging people to fight terrorism, and she's addressing the root problem of terrorism, which is ignorance.
I don't know about that.
Of course it is. Of course it
Ignorance
is.
is the
Absolutely.
root problem of terrorism? How
Yes.
is ignorance the root problem of terrorism? No, really think about it. Just ignorance is the root problem of terrorism?
Absolutely.
I think it is, they got something I don't have, and I want it.
Oh, you think it's jealousy?
No, I don't think it's jealousy. I
That's
think
what
it's
you-
like, they have something and I'm going to take it.
No, it's not, Dick. Because
What do you
here's the-
mean, no, it's not?
Because do you know how many Muslims there are in the world?
No, how many?
I don't either.
Alright, that's the point of this conversation
No.
where it becomes entirely bullshit.
Hold on.
For both of us.
I'm sure it's over. I'm sure it's over 100 million, probably closer to 1 billion or 2 billion.
Yeah.
They're comparable to Christianity, right? There's a lot of Muslims.
Sure,
in this world.
okay.
And a very, very small percentage of them have ever committed anything terroristic, right?
Well, of course.
Right. So the people who have are ignorant. The majority of the Muslims are not.
I don't see why it's just ignorance, though.
Of
Like,
course it's ignorance.
aren't they have a cause, and all of their causes is to either stop something or take something. Like, isn't the Holy Land that's in dispute, all the terrorism that occurs as a result of the Holy Land,
Right.
Jerusalem is
Right.
It's all because they want it. They want the land. The other side has the land. They want it back. Like, it's just give us your stuff.
Okay,
it's
but-
like a mugging.
Right. That's what they want. That's their cause, but it's not their method. Their method, people who suicide bomb and attack innocent people, they don't think ahead. They don't think of the repercussions of that, right? Osama bin Laden, some of the terrorists hailed his methods as being revolutionary and so good for the Muslim world. It made nobody's life better. His life made Arabs' lives worse. His life made terrorists' lives worse. He's dead. His organization is scattered. And yeah, there's ISIS and all these other terrorist groups, but they don't think ahead and plan ahead and think, hey, if we have this action that's going to kill innocent Americans, innocent people on a bus, innocent people in Tel Aviv, we're going to have repercussions for that. And the repercussions are going to be worse than anything that came before it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about that, but I'm trying to factor in the religious element of it. Like, they think they're going to a better place.
Well, these
legitimately, right?
These specific ones do, but that's not the majority of Saudi Arabians or Muslims, for example.
But terrorists in general.
Well, that's what they're told.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who are we to say that a belief system, that's what they believe, right? So I'm factoring that into their decision making.
But it's trivial to dismantle that philosophy. And the way to dismantle that philosophy is to be intelligent about it. And the way to be intelligent is education, a la Malala Yousafzai.
Well, those better be our schools if they're going up.
Yeah. Dick, before we go on, that's all I got on that on that solution, rather. Before we go on, I have one of your favorite segments.
Oh,
here.
fuck.
Yeah.
Dick versus
I
Dick.
hate this fucking segment.
I love it so much. This one is sent in by Edward Smith, so that's who you can thank for this.
Great. Fuck you, Edward.
You haven't even heard it. It might be a bust. Okay, here's
Look at the smile on your face. That's how I know it's a good one.
here's what you said a couple episodes back.
Okay. You ever got an STD?
No.
I never have either.
Okay, you remember saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what you said on another episode.
I got chlamydia. And I was like, oh, I start laughing because it's gross and it's happened to me before, so it's like, oh, that's fine. No, but you took that quote out of context.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because remember I was telling you the other day, or the other episode, that I remember everything I say because that's what
You
makes
gotta go
me
in or out. You have to
Yeah.
pick
Did
one.
that,
You can't be both.
that was with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
said
yeah.
that, yes.
I remember everything I say, and that specifically, what I was saying was that girl called me up that I banged at Burning Man and said, I have chlamydia. That wasn't me saying I have chlamydia, that's what she said on the phone call with me. Did you find that clip or did he send that in?
He sent that in.
He took it out of context. What was his name?
Edward.
Hey, fuck you, Edward. I know everything I said ever. You try to bust me on out of context shit again, I will shoot a Cracker Jack right up your ass, pal. Fuck you. I did not say I have chlamydia. I have never had chlamydia that I know of.
But the tail end of that clip, you said that you had it.
No, the phone call had happened to me before.
Oh, is that what it was?
her calling me and saying I have chlamydia, and I was laughing because the phone call had happened to me before.
Oh, there you go, Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dick versus Dick. Not so much, is it?
Point counterpoint.
Point counterpoint.
And you know what that is? That's Dick versus Dick versus Dick.
All right, you ready for my next solution?
Let's hear it.
Beer.
All right, what's
Beer.
that? How's that a solution, Dick?
Look, you remember you were talking about meat? How
Yeah.
it's like shaped our physiology and our genealogy to be smart?
Right.
Beer has built our entire civilization.
No.
Yep, absolutely true. You gotta watch this documentary called How Beer Saved the World. Okay? So
Okay.
go.
Sounds like it's balanced. It sounds like it's gonna be real fair and objective.
Shut the fuck up. So, human beings, as we are, have existed for 100,000 years, right?
True.
Civilizations only have been around for 10,000 years. You know what happened 10,000 years ago?
Discovered beer.
Discovered beer. That's right, Maddox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you think of wheat, right? The grain.
Yeah, I think of it all
You
the time.
think- yeah.
Yeah.
They made this to make bread out of, right?
Right.
Not so much. New evidence is saying that they grew that grain specifically to make beer, and that the leftovers was turned into bread.
Dick, you
How
think
about
they made beer before bread?
Yeah. Okay. Who's making things? Who's making things?
Men.
Busted up men who are pissed off at everything. Everybody's constantly fucking picking on them. Hey, where's the meat today? Did you kill any wolves today? Did you kill any bears today? Did you kill any shit today? Would you shut the fuck up? I need this beverage. I need it. Can you imagine me as a primitive man waking up and busting my ass to make a loaf of bread? No. I'll just eat more meat. But you can't track and hunt beer, can you? No. I've got to grow a bunch of grain. I've got to harvest it. I've got to whip it up. I've got to get a big vat, stir it up. I got to pray to God that I got some yeast falling into it somewhere.
Okay, Dick, I gotta call bullshit on this, because if you think about the process of making beer, you have to grow it, then you have to store it in a vat somewhere, mix it with a bunch of liquids, and make it ferment, and
Water.
then you get the alcohol. Right, liquid, water, sure. So you let it ferment, and then you make this alcohol substance out of it.
Right.
But if you have grains that are just sitting there, and you're thinking, as a primitive man, you're thinking, well, I'm fucking hungry. What do I got to eat? You look around, there's weeds and rocks and shit. You put everything in your mouth and your butthole, and you see what's what, right?
Right.
But then you walk over to the grains, and you think, well, what is this thing? Can I eat it as is? No, that's fucking too hard and gross and crunchy. And then you grind it up, and you think, wow, powder, it tastes a little bit better. Well, what if I mix this powder with some water and add some heat to it? Wow, you got bread. I think that's way more likely than then mixing it with water and then letting it sit for a long time. I think they discovered beer by accident.
They did, and then they figured out how to make it. That's what I'm saying. It's way easier to kill a thing than to make bread.
No, I think making bread's way easier to make beer.
I don't think bread is as important as you think it is.
Well, I'm
To
not saying it's
cavemen.
important, no. But look, if they found that in the teeth records of fossils, they have little microscopic stones that have etched fissures in their teeth, and they found that because they ground bread with primitive tools, and there were little rocks in the bread that they made.
What do you mean they ground bread? You mean they ground wheat?
Wheat, rather,
Wheat.
yeah, to make bread.
Weird. I don't know, because the type that they were making in this thing I read said it was better for making beer than it was for making bread.
What, the ground flour?
The type of things that were ground.
That's not evidence, but okay. So what do you
My next point.
Yeah.
So these women, beer was mostly made by women in Mesopotamia, right? So beer is an equal opportunity employer. Right? That's a pretty good solution right there. Law. It was the cause of law. Law is pretty important in civilization, you would say. Yes?
Yeah.
So the code of Uru-Kagina is often cited as the very first legal code that prescribed as a central unit of payment.
Uru-Kagina, huh?
Yeah, look it up.
Never
Look
heard
it
of
up, asshole.
Doesn't sound like a solution to
Well,
me.
you're not a scholar like me. Beer is the solution. Why else would you need a law? Why else would you need to write down, look, this is what we're doing with our beer. We don't know how to make it. We do these couple things, and magically some of it turns into beer. We don't have a lot of it, but we got to split it up evenly. Okay? We can't all kill each other to get this beer. So this is how we're going to do it. What else would you need to write down?
You would have to write down, I don't know, the square yardage of carpet you would sell, pots that you would sell, tools, primitive hunting tools, those type of things, maybe other foods that are more readily available.
That's not a law, though. What else legally would you have to write down? This is a code of law I'm saying that beer is responsible for.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And is there any evidence that this was the first the first code of law.
Yeah, I read it on Wikipedia.
Oh, there you go.
It also is the authority for this came from various female deities and goddesses who cover the production of beer, blah, 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 and the enjoyment of beer. Check this out. Louis Pasteur, you may have heard of him, did his first research on the fermentation that was caused by the growth of microorganisms.
Right.
So no Louis Pasteur, no pasteurization.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but Pasteur came, what, centuries later?
Yeah, but he was still started his work in beer.
Well, but that doesn't, it's arbitrary, Dick. Can you prove that he wouldn't have discovered what he discovered had there not been beer? Maybe wine, for example. Wine's another fermented drink, Dick.
Yeah,
and
he
in
did,
fact,
he did do some of those wines.
Yeah, I bet. I knew it. I fucking knew it. And you know what? Wine is way easier to make than beer because if you ever grew up on an orchard or if you had apple trees like I did growing up, you found that when apples would fall off the tree and you just leave them there for a few weeks, it kind of stink. It make this like musky fermented smell. And you walk by and you smell it and you're like, wow, that's interesting. It almost smells like vinegar. It does. Same thing with grapes, Dick. You just walk by those things and you smell them rotting on the ground and they start to ferment naturally. That's a way more likely explanation than grinding up wheat, adding water to it, just magically knowing to do that, and then just sitting around waiting for it to ferment.
What are you, chick? You drinking caveman wine? Fuck you, I'm drinking caveman beer. You're over there in your cave with your nice rosé of smelly fruits.
Yeah, having some garlic bread.
Yeah. In the words of Angelo's mom, what are you, gay?
And who are you, gay?
Yeah.
You are gay?
I'm saying beer is the root of all technology. Everything was invented, plows were invented, math was invented to keep track of fields of beer, law was invented to cover divvying up beer among people.
You are a jackass?
You know what? Maybe I am a fucking idiot. Food purity laws were invented for beer.
Oh, wait a second. You mean like the FDA, Dick? More government
All
involved?
food purity laws.
Wait, I want you to remember this, Dick. You're saying that food purity laws, which were the precursor to organizations like the FDA, were invented because of beer. I want you to remember that, Dick.
Maddox, I don't think that there shouldn't be some kind of agency that governs whether or not the chocolate bar I'm eating is entirely rat shit or not. Okay?
You don't
that's
think so?
That's a legitimate function of a government.
Well, then I got a chocolate bar for you, buddy. I want you to eat it.
No, it's full of shit. That's what I'm saying. That's illegal.
Wait, it's illegal because of these government organizations that were created in part because of beer.
Yeah, good. That's consumer protection.
Oh, you're all for consumers now, huh?
In this instance of not eating poison, yes.
How do you know, Dick? Maybe you just trust someone. Hey, this guy made me a chocolate bar. His name's Maddox. It looks pretty good to me. It's a little bit chunky, but whatever.
I don't even know what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying.
You're gonna eat poop someday.
Yeah. There's prehistoric evidence that shows brewing began in 5400 BC in Sumer as a way to preserve excess grain.
As a way to preserve excess grain. But Dick, this is all speculation, man. What evidence do they really have that this was what the Sumerians did to preserve excess grain? This is a nice theory.
What do you want? A time machine?
Any evidence?
Just think. Use your man brain instead of your obnoxious arguing chick brain for a second, and think about you as a caveman. What do you want? Do you really want a loaf of bread? No. I want the magical drink that makes me feel good and makes all women fuckable. That's what I want. It's called beer.
Great, Dick. But here's the thing. You don't know for a fact that cavemen had beer. In fact, I'm pretty sure they did. I don't think
It's Sumer did. They had it in Sumer in Mesopotamia. What else did I say?
Yeah, the Sumerians.
Of course they had it.
Sure.
They had something.
Ben Franklin drank a lot of it. Dick, I don't know. Here's the thing. People drink too much beer all the time. Case in point, you. And they get drunk and obnoxious. Case in point, you. And they say and do things that get them thrown out of parties, like throw oranges at ping pong tables. Case in point, you. Beer pong, rather. So people become drunk assholes, and the majority of bar scuffles, the majority of assaults, like if you go to a police crime map,
100% of bar scuffles are caused by beer. What are you talking about?
There you go.
That's called natural selection, asshole.
Yeah, natural selection. I think it's called beer muscles and beer goggles. Dude, how many ugly chicks have you banged because of beer goggles?
I have no idea. Do you have any stats to back that up?
Yeah, I got
fucking idiot. Do you have any proof for that?
Yeah, I got a clip for you here. I got this.
I got chlamydia. And I was,
Is that what we're doing now? We're taking quotes out of context like that? We're splicing them up like sneakers? My voice is my fucking passport?
Dick, I have never not taken one of your clips out of context.
that's my solution.
Your solution is
The
beer.
root of all technology is beer, man.
I don't
The
think
only
so, man.
cure for ugliness, beer, and insecurity. Oh baby, beer.
No, it's not. First of all, if you get drunk and you bang an ugly person, guess what? You got an ugly baby. That's a problem that lasts you a lifetime.
You
and also,
wouldn't know.
is there any... Fuck you, Dick. Is there any evidence that shows that beer came before meat? Because I fucking guarantee it didn't.
Well, yeah, there's evidence that it did not come before meat, because meat's like a part of an animal.
Exactly.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So it can't possibly be
Yeah,
the
but-
root of all technology, because meat is,
But
Dick.
what's more important, these stupid brains, or a reason to build all this technology? What do you want? Without beer, we'd still just be running around naked with no PlayStations or Dark Souls or space travel or internets. We'd have none of that stuff without beer.
Dick, that is pure speculation and absolute horse shit. And I'm not gonna stand for it. Meat was the solution. Meat is what made our brains explode in size, and meat is the precipitous moment in our evolution where we started building tools to burn and hunt and create cooked food, and it saved us time from having to hunt and gather. Not beer, which made us drunk assholes sitting around banging ugly chicks. That's your solution to things?
Ugly guys, too.
Yeah, ugly guys too, sure.
We'll see. I guess
Maybe-
we'll see what the voting says.
Maybe you have to-
beer or meat. What's the bigger solution?
It's meat. You fucking assholes. I know you idiots are gonna vote it
I
out.
guess we'll see, Maddox. We'll see who gets to play what song next month.
Yeah.
What's your next solution?
My next solution, and a real solution for a change, is income-based fines.
Okay.
Yeah? Have you ever heard of this? You know what this is?
No.
So here's the scenario, Dick, where two people commit a crime. Let's say they both commit the same crime.
Okay.
Both are the same race, same gender, same age, both went to a 4-year college, same everything, right? Except one of these people gets fined 2% of his income, and the other one gets fined almost 0% of his income. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Why is that fair?
Because I know the point you're trying to make.
Yeah, I know. So you won't be honest. You always have to be a contrarian. What?
Well, no, because I don't think. Keep going. I don't think. Something in me tells me that these fines are not supposed to be punitive.
Yeah, well, this is exactly the scenario that people face every day
Okay.
when they're fined $500 for, say, running a red light. So if you make $30,000 a year, that's 2% of your income. And that's most accountants made like $30,000 to $40,000 in Middle America, right?
Right.
That's almost an entire week's worth of your wages. But if you make $200,000 per year, which is not out of line for most lawyers and doctors, that won't even put a dent in your wallet. You make about $100 per hour at that rate, and you can pay that fine off with 5 hours of your work.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you punish someone like that? When you punish somebody for a crime with incarceration, it's called a day fine. There's a name for this. It's called a day fine. Because you're incarcerated for a certain number of days, or a fine, which is effectively a financial punishment, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
why are we punishing some people a different rate than another? So each day you spend incarcerated is effectively a day that you're not allowed to work. So it's a day you go without your income. So certain countries have started employing fees based on your income level.
Really, like who? Germany? Australia?
Germany is one of them.
Yeah, of course they are. They always do this shit.
No, but Finland, Sweden, Denmark,
Yeah,
Croatia, the city of Macau, these are some of the countries with the lowest crime rates in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think that's not a solution?
Well, it's just it pops out to me that those countries are also like homogenous countries.
What does that mean, homogenous?
Like a lot of the same people with the same background and the same, the same social stat. Like Germany is full of Germans. It's very different than America. We got a whole cross section of people.
No, they're a bunch
right?
but not all these countries. Like Macau, for example, is a city in China that was a
Probably
a
got
Portuguese.
mostly Chinese dudes in it.
No, it was actually a Portugal colony for a long time. So that's why
Oh.
it's got this like weird Spanish influence in Macau.
Oh,
and
that's
then
interesting.
and now there's a huge pocket of Russians who have just taken over all the casinos. And then you have the Chinese, and then you have people from Hong Kong, and you have people from mainland China. It's a melting pot.
Well, let me say, what you're proposing is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm against exorbitant fines on the surface. Like when I see a fine, when I see like a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, I always wonder what the minimum wage is, how that would affect someone who makes minimum wage. Because because that's how much the government says you should make, right? Federal minimum wage.
Sure.
So how much would this cost of a person's life if they were making minimum wage?
Right.
And it's always insane.
Yeah.
And it's like an entire week.
Right. That's what I started with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a week's worth of your salary.
And that's just way too much.
Right. So you're
but I don't know
agreeing with me.
so should it be what a day?
No, it shouldn't be a day. It should be the fee should be, there's a nominal fee that's the standard fee that they charge everybody. And in Sweden, I think the police have the option to charge you based on your income, based on the egregiousness of the crime.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't like cops getting to use their own judgment.
That's what they do because rich people can afford to pay petty fines more readily than poor people. They can break laws more often with impunity. Now, countries with income-based fines, so I mentioned like Finland, Sweden, etc.
Yeah.
In 2010, a Swedish driver was fined $962,000 for driving 180 miles per hour on the motorway.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, it was so fast. Their speed detection meters didn't even pick it up. They level off at 125. They had to catch this guy by camera, and they had to look at the frames to see how many frames he passed in a certain amount of time.
Well, I already got one problem with your solution, then. If that guy's got to spend $1 million or kroners, or was it dollars that he had to pay? $962,000.
Yes.
He's going to spend $962 fighting that ticket in court.
$962,000
trying to fight that ticket. He's not just going to get his checkbook out and say, "Sure thing, jerk-offs, here's $1 million." He's going to say, "Okay, well, I'm rich, I have this much money, so I'm going to tie up your stupid system with this money until I'm dead."
Yeah, but Dick, that goes down on the record. If he's going to do that, if he's going to drag the court through that kind of money, and also the judge, by the way, fined him for it, you're wrong, because he did actually pay that fee.
Oh, you can't even appeal it?
No, you can't appeal it. You can appeal it. You have 1 week to appeal the police officer's judgment. If the police officer decides to give you a petty fine, you can just pay the petty fine, which is something like 115 euros. Or if the police officer said, "Hey, dickhead, you're driving 180 miles per hour on the expressway. By the way, it takes you half a mile. That's 0.8 kilometers to come to a complete stop at that speed. That's reckless. You're just being a prick." And he can do that, drive with impunity because he's rich and he can pay for any fucking fine.
So poor people don't behave like assholes and shoot guns into the air? How fucking reckless is that?
Well, sure they can, but poor people are punished disproportionately for the same crime.
Yeah, but I really, dude, I'm just against the government treating people like individuals. Like it's not there. No, it's not there. And I phrased that stupidly, but it's not in their. It shouldn't be in their scope to judge you based on how much money you make. I really don't think it should. I'm with you that people who are making minimum wage shouldn't be punished like that.
Yeah.
But I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of the government treating you and fining you based on how much money you make.
Why?
I don't know. I think they should just treat everybody like an individual. Like they shouldn't start meddling in your taxes to get how much you owe on a tax return. To get how much you owe on a ticket.
You just contradicted yourself. You said earlier you don't want the government to treat people like individuals, and now you just said that you do. Which one is
cops.
Oh, cops.
I don't want cops to be able to abuse authority. Like I don't want them to have the ability to say, "Hey, do what I want, or I might nail you with this $1 million ticket." That's that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Well, sure, but you can appeal that if you need to. Like if a cop has some kind of grudge against you or some vendetta and he wants to give you $1 million fine, you can appeal that in court.
No, it's more sinister than that. I don't want them to have that ability with people on the side of the road. Like I don't want that. I don't want that to be a thing that happens in America.
Well, they base it on what income level that you state, but they can check it. So it's kind of like an honor system. So if you want to abuse the system, they can abuse the system.
Oh, it's an honor system?
It's an honor
I'm
system.
100% for it.
Okay,
I
here
make
you go,
nothing.
Dick. Yeah, except they can check it, and if they do find that you lied, then the fine is, I think, is significantly more.
Oh, it's like Scrabble? Stupid.
So a millionaire Ferrari driver was fined $290,000 for driving 60 in a 30 mile per hour zone by Swiss courts. And the head of Nokia got fined $103,000 for speeding in 2002. This is all from NBC News. So this system is working. I remember back when
you say working,
yeah,
are less people speeding, or did the government just make a bunch of money? What's working?
Well, it gives people a disincentive to
Those
speed.
people
rich
got
people.
fucked, right?
Yeah, great.
Did it work? Because people said red light cameras worked because they were writing a bunch of tickets.
Well,
but it
yeah,
made things
that's
more
true.
dangerous. So how does it work?
Well, it works by disincentivizing. It works by at least leveling the field with rich people and poor people.
You don't have stats for this, though.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
So you agree with the premise of the initiative?
Well, of course, but they tried it in the UK, and the UK they rejected it. I think they tried it from 1992 to 1993, and they found that, well, the problem with the UK, the way they tried to approach it is they didn't look at the means and your ability to repay that penalty. So if you made, say, $1 million last year, but you get paid once every 5 years or so, that's not a lot of money amortized over 5 years. So they need to look at your means and your ability to pay that. Or, for example, if you came into a huge inheritance and you broke the law, and you happen to be mentally or physically disabled, and then they suddenly slam you with this like $500,000 fee, and you're not able to ever repay that, then they need to take that into consideration. But the Finnish and Swedish laws are much more. They take into consideration your ability to survive. They're not going to fine you into oblivion. They've given you an allowance for, I think, 300 euros per month. They will not fine you more than that, more than your ability to repay or to live and to survive. And if you have mouths to feed, they allow an exception for those as well.
You know what my problem with this is? It's very simple. I don't think the government should be training us. I don't think they should be setting up these disincentives to speed and stuff like where there's a fine. Like what if this existed for like smoking weed? So you're walking around with a joint, you're a regular dude, it's a $10 fine. But if you're rich, you get like a $300,000 fine. I don't think it's the government's job to train you on how to act.
It's not training, Dick. It's just fairness. It's right across the board.
Yeah,
fairness.
but I don't think it is fair.
Well, Dick, essentially it's a flat fee for everybody. How is that? That is literally the definition of fair. The same thing for everybody. Everybody gets fined 1% of their income across the board. Bam.
So what about two millionaires who one's better at hiding his income than the other? Then what?
Well, then I guess there's injustice in this world, Dick. It's not perfect. If someone's good at hiding their money, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you know that they're a millionaire, first of all, this cop, I guess, the guy that pulled over the dude who was driving 180,000 miles an hour, I think he was driving something like a $200,000 I think it was like a $240,000 Mercedes. And he saw that car and he's like, okay, well, this guy's got money, regardless of his income. He can at least give him a fine that is worth a percentage of the car that he's driving. So if a millionaire gets pulled over, at the very least, they can evaluate the worth of his car and say, okay, well, you're definitely paying more than the petty fine.
Oh wow, a lot of smarts.
Yeah.
Crediting this guy for. So, let's say you get pulled over for doing 80. That's a common occurrence. Do you really want to drive around on the freeways afraid of getting a ticket for going 80 miles an hour because you might get hit with a $6,000 fine?
Well, no.
Or something like there's a middle ground. I know it's easy to say a guy driving a Ferrari deserves to pay $1 million, but what about the rest of us?
You're not going to pay $1 million, Nick. It's always going to be
a couple thousand.
Well, sure, but it's up to a certain amount. So, for example, the Swedish courts have even decided that if the crime does not fit this kind of punishment, for example, if you go 20 above, then this is the controversial part of the law. You go 20 above,
the application.
Right? Well, no, but this specifically what I'm getting to. If you go 20 above, they're not going to level this kind of fee because they say, okay, well, that's a common thing. A lot of people go 20 above. But if you go beyond that, let's say 30 above or 40 above, that's when they start leveling this fee. So up until a certain amount, they give you the standard fee. But then the controversy is that if you go 1 mile above that, so if you go 21 miles per hour, you're susceptible to this fee. And it's up to the cop. If you're going to be a dickhead about it, then yeah, maybe the cop's going to give you that fine and you can contest it in court and try and make your case.
Well, that might start at 20 miles an hour over, but in a couple of years it'll get 0 miles an hour over. And why would they stop?
Well, Dick, it's been like this for years and they haven't really.
Yeah, in America. That's what America's great at, man. Being corrupt as shit.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. I don't know, Dick. They got it working. Really low crime. When I went to Sweden last year, it was one of the safest places I've ever been to. I was walking down the street one day, and I noticed my shoelace was untied, so I bent over to tie it, and I was in front of this coffee shop, this giant window in the front, and this lady kept, by the way, hot as shit. Everyone in Sweden is hot as shit. It pisses me off. Anyway, this lady was hot as shit. She kept turning around looking at me like, hey, baby, you like me tying my shoes? Yeah. You like what you see?
Yeah. I know those lines.
Yeah, I can tie your shoes. So
hubba.
Yeah. So she kept staring at me, and I'm like, what is this chick staring at me for? And then I look up, and I noticed that I'm standing right in front of her baby carriage with her baby in it that she left outside while she's getting a coffee. That's what kind of society Sweden is. It's Stockholm, rather. Yeah. Because it's so safe. I saw very little graffiti anywhere. Most people were taken care of. Of course, the disparity between the rich and poor is pretty big, and there's a lot of weird things in society, but it's a really safe society. It's really, really safe.
Yeah, they're all the same people. It's not like
no, they're not. They get black. Well, no, they don't. I didn't see any black. I saw 2 black people while I was there, and one of them was Obama on TV.
They've been there for tens of thousands of years, or they've been there for thousands. Like they're all we all just got here. You know, there's a shitload of different people here. It's different. It's different, I think, than those Nordic countries.
I think the Nordic countries were established the second we discovered meat, baby.
All right. You got anything else? You got anything else on your radical, aggressive, communist ticketing policy?
Yeah, just charge everyone a fair rate, the same rate across the board, so you're not in.
Well, why do you want to stop speeding in the first place? I thought you loved speeding on the freeways.
I fucking love speeding, Dick. It's my favorite thing to
What
do
do you
in the
want to
world.
stop then?
Just all crimes across the board. Charge everyone the same rate, the same percentage of their income, so that all people. So suddenly you're not charged. So poor people, like for example in Los Angeles and New York and Chicago, big cities, they're charged these parking fines that cost $60, $70, $80 a day, right? I talked to this barista one time who was crying while she was making my coffee. I'm like, please don't put tears in my coffee. She was crying because she got a $73 ticket. She said, well, today I worked for free because she got a parking ticket. She's not making much money. She's making minimum wage. So to her, $73 means a lot more than some fucking dickhead who, by the way, was at my old apartment, there was this guy who drove this Ferrari. He owned a business around the corner, and he parked it at the meter every day and just had his assistant pay for the tickets. He didn't give a shit. Yeah. Oh, wow, what a cool guy. Meanwhile,
this is a cool guy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this barista is just crying tears into my coffee, and I have to drink salty fucking coffee because this dickhead Ferrari driver doesn't have to pay the same fee across the board. That's not fair,
Why
Dick.
stop there, Maddox? Why don't we do the same thing with healthcare?
What do you mean?
Make rich people pay, $200,000 a year to get basic health care. Why not just throw monopoly pricing onto everything?
Because there's not an incentive for rich people to break the law, or disincentive. They can break laws with impunity right now as it is. But with healthcare, they're paying for a service. It's not like you use more if you're richer. But as a rich person, you have no reason to follow laws because you just pay it off. You do whatever you want, like that kid who had affluenza. You remember that kid who hit someone with drunk driving?
I remember these couple cases of rich people, but I'm talking about the rest of us. I don't want the rest of us to just be deathly afraid of getting speeding tickets, for fuck's sake. I don't want that barista to be afraid of it, but I don't want everyone to be afraid of getting tickets.
Well, it's not. If you're not driving egregiously over the speed limit, look, up to 20 miles an hour, I'll get a ticket for if we're going 80 on over 60. For sure, that's not a big
deal. About 81.
Well, then you go. You know what? You can address
Straight
that.
to prison then.
You can make it a scale, Dick. It doesn't have to be black and white. It could be 1 mile above, you pay an extra 1%. 2 miles above, you pay an extra 2%, and so on, and it just steeps up to a certain percentage. It doesn't have. There's solutions to these things with math, Dick.
I don't know what the difference is between tickets and electricity. Then the government's giving you tickets, they're giving you electricity. Why don't they just start monopolizing everything?
You are a shithead. You are a jackass.
Is that it?
No.
You dumb shit.
Is that it with your problem? I mean.
Oh yeah. That's all I got.
All right, that's all I got. What are your problems with this episode? Mine are.
No, solutions, Dick. We're doing the solutions.
Sorry. What are your solutions? My solutions are ask for a raise, which is gonna win. And I'm calling my shots now because I've been winning so much. Ask for a raise and beer.
The shittiest phrasing. I hate that phrasing for it. Ask for a raise. Asking for a raise is the solution. Ask for a raise is not. It's just you're just saying things. Anyway, my solution is Malala Yousafzai, hero, badass.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, great, Dick. And income-based fines, which makes sense. Anyway, guys, tell your friends with cochlear implants about the show. Don't forget to vote for the biggest solution on our website.
Das Vidania.
Thanks for listening.
And who are you, gay?
You being a man?
Okay. I'm almost done.
welcome to the biggest solution in the universe. I'm Maddox. With me is Dick Masterson.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
And Sean, our audio engineer.
Gentlemen. Hey, Sean.
All right, this is our third ever bonus episode. Thanks again for supporting the show, guys. We're really kicking some ass here. And thanks for the people who are listening to us on Stitcher and iTunes. If you guys are subscribing, that really helps the show, helps get the word out, which is how we get heard, word of mouth.
It's all a competition. This show is a competition.
No,
Listeners,
Dick.
this show is a competition, and we want to beat everybody. So thank you for...
Okay, Dick. Agenda, always wanted to get in. Right at the top of the show, I'm in a good mood, good attitude, off to a great start, ruined.
I'm already in a bad mood.
Yeah, why is that, Dick?
Because you have shenanigans planned for later.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already pissed off about them.
Okay.
You want to tell everybody what you're planning to do today?
Yeah, so what Dick is referring to is we decided, look, Dick is a believer in pay more, get more, right? Simple concept, but it's false.
Yeah.
It's false.
Yes, I think that, you pay 90% of the way to something and you get an okay product, and every little bit more that you chisel out for something, the product gets a little better in general.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, when you're paying more, in general, you get a better product.
Yeah, you think that. Generally, you think that. But it's a fallacy because they've tested consumers with water, bottled water that comes out of a tap and has spiders in it, and they think that it tastes better than actual clean water. They don't know. People don't know. They are susceptible. That's a cognitive bias. And we're going to test one of Dick's cognitive biases this episode by tasting wine. We brought in some expensive wine and cheap wine, and at the end of this episode, we're going to have Dick try them and see if he can find which wine is the most expensive one.
Yeah, I wish we would have recorded the fight over this test.
Yeah.
Because your first version of this test was total bullshit. This one is probably half bullshit.
Yeah.
But the first version where you wanted to serve me wine straight out of the bottle into solo cups and shot glasses.
Yeah, so what?
You don't drink wine out of plastic cups.
I do.
I think we're getting to the root of the problem.
Dick, you think your senses are so sensitive that you're going to be able to taste a few molecules of plastic that might be floating around from a Solo cup. That's insane. You're not a dog.
I've been smelling Solo cups for a long time.
Okay.
I know what Solo cups smell like.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Of course, you need all the senses. I need all the senses I have to do this test. If I'm actually going to tell you, like, I assume I'm guessing the prices of the wine. Is that what you want me to do,
No,
or just rank them?
Just rank them. I don't think you that's an impossible test for you to do, Dick. If you just rank them, I'd be happy.
Okay.
If you're able to rank them from most expensive to least.
I need to smell that. I'm not going to shoot it like a shooter.
Yeah, no,
over here
no,
with
Dick,
a chaser.
I know how important
tequila.
I know how important your sense of smell is because apparently it's not powerful enough to detect all the bullshit you've been spewing.
Okay.
All right, Dick. The last bonus episode, we brought in some solutions, and here's what people thought was the biggest solution from last time.
All right.
Income-based fines, baby. Yeah, income-based fines, followed by Malala Yousafzai,
I still
hero.
don't understand what that was.
Oh, I know, Dick. I know. I could spend hours explaining that to you, still wouldn't understand. And then beer, and then ask for a raise. Your stupid phrasing for that problem drives me nuts.
Wait, so it drives somebody else nuts here, too. Here, I got a voicemail for you.
This is a message for Dick Fucker Masterson. I'm going to explain to you why you're a fucking idiot, because Maddox dropped the ball on this one. The word solution is a noun. Solutions are nouns. Ask is a verb. If you add ing to the end of a verb, that makes it into a gerund, a noun. The other solution you brought in last episode, beer, is a noun. The two solutions you brought in the first episode are also both nouns. In fact, every solution except for ask for a raise is a fucking noun, you anus. Get your shit together.
I feel like I'm listening to like a really shitty version of Sesame Street.
Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other, you dumb motherfucker.
Dick, take a hint. They're talking to you like Sesame Street for a reason.
Is it a big deal?
Yes,
Does
it's
it really
a big deal.
bug you?
It bugs the shit out of me because you've done this on another
guess
problem
what,
too.
then?
Yeah,
Which one? What did I do?
I forget. It was something like everybody needs to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
a
a noun.
problem.
No, okay, Dick, but you can phrase it in a way. Everybody is 20 pounds overweight. That's a way you can phrase it because you're trying to fill in the blank. When we find the biggest problem or the biggest solution in the universe, we should be able to say to somebody, at a party, say, hey, so whatever happened with that podcast of yours? Did you guys
Right.
ever solve the biggest
Yeah, we
problem in the
figured it
universe?
out.
Yeah, we figured it out. The biggest problem in the universe is everybody needs to lose 20 pounds. Is that the problem? No, that's phrased in a way of a solution, dickhead. It needs to fill in that blank. Everybody needs to ask for a raise, or asking for a raise is the biggest solution in the universe. That's the way you phrase it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on that next time. Here, these some more voicemails have thoughts on your income-based fines.
Okay, great.
Hey, my name is Michael. I'm in Canada. Dick, you're gonna like this one. Your solution is fucking stupid.
Wow.
You can't change the price of fines for rich people in an effort to make it fair.
No.
It won't. It'll just work in reverse. You'll have poor people who can't afford a $75 parking ticket using their system to prove they can't afford it and not paying the bill.
What?
And then fucking parking wherever the hell they want in front of their coffee
Oh,
shop like an asshole.
Those asshole poor people running around.
Fuck you, and yeah, you're an idiot.
Oh, I thought you said I would like this one. Dick, I have a segment. Speaking of income-based fines.
If it's another Dick versus Dick segment, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
It is a Dick versus Dick segment, Dick. We haven't had one of these in a while. This is everyone.
You have one every episode.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I didn't have one last episode. So listen, Dick, this comes to us all the way back from episode number 26. I don't know if you remember saying this, but listen.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
I know what this is gonna
the
be.
fine
For not picking up dog shit is $250.
That's it?
It's like New York, all big cities is $250.
Yeah.
How is it that small?
Doesn't hurt the rich. That's another poor people.
There you go. So what should we make it? 1% of what you make in a year. If you make 50 grand a year, congratulations. That dog shit just cost you $500.
Wow. And Dick, then in the last bonus episode, here's what you said about income-based fines.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of the government fining you based on how much money you make.
Oops. So, which is it, Dick?
Well, one of those was said in anger. Because I just stepped in a bunch of dog shit. Yeah, I still feel uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
But I think you were trying to make a point that got lost in the discussion.
Oh.
In the riveting discussion we had over income-based fines. Because you do want to lessen the impact, the financial burden of paying parking tickets for people who aren't making that much money.
Right.
That's true.
And you want to deter people from rich people.
See, that's where you lose me. You lose me with the rich. And you're gonna do it again. You're gonna do it again right here by saying that.
Okay.
But if we're just talking about people who aren't making that much money, yeah, I think it's grossly unfair that they have to pay that much. I think like a $20 ticket would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's just a revenue making like FU for the city. Parking tickets.
Well,
I don't think they're that important. And that's my problem with it. I don't want it to turn into this cash cow where they're just hitting everyone as hard as they can, from the poor to the very rich, just because they parked on the street.
Yeah, no, I agree with that point. If they use the funds for something good, if they were able to manage that in a way that was not incompetent and susceptible to pork barrel spending, then yeah, I'd be on board with that too, Dick. But as it stands, I think it's a better solution than one size fits all, because you're really hurting people at the lowest levels of income. It's just a poor tax. They're just a society is stacked against poor people. It's just every time you turn around, there's another fee, and it hits the poor people the hardest.
And there's so many of them. If only there was a way for all these people to band together and make decisions that would benefit them. Isn't that weird? Someone should invent that.
And what are you getting at, Dick?
I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
Okay. All right, Dick. Interesting. I have this isn't a voicemail, it's a video that someone made, and he sent this in to us.
Okay.
It's by Ryan Pollard, and it's called The Biggest Annoyed Grunt in the Universe. Listen to this, I think you'll like it.
I want to see a big dick in my mouth. I might go to sleep listening to Maddox jerking off. I'm gonna suck Maddox's dick.
Suck it all the way down your throat. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
When did you say that?
Coming. Oh!
All right, my turn.
Yep.
Well, I think herpes is a bigger problem if we're gonna choose. Out of your asshole.
No.
You get off shitting on me?
Yeah, all the time.
All right, take your pants off.
Are you kidding me? It smells like dog poop.
God damn it, I really love you, Maddox. I love you, Dick. Are you proposing to me?
Yes.
Who did that?
That was Ryan Pollard made that.
Fuck you,
Ryan. Yeah. I guess he interpreted our show a little bit differently than everyone else.
I guess so. Let's see. I got some more comments here. Mike Gainsborough, this is about my ask for a raise problem. Dick, in what world do you live in where asking for a raise is a good idea for a good chunk of people? It sure as hell isn't Earth. Most places do yearly performance reviews that determine a raise, and if you're good, how much. If your company doesn't do that, or you do something outside, then it's pretty justified. Yeah, I was flummoxed that problem got so trounced in the comments. Ask for a raise. Or that solution, sorry.
Flummoxed? Why that?
Well, it seemed harmless at worst. Ask for a raise, but it seemed to really piss people off. Did you get that at all? You seemed pissed off that I brought it in. Were you?
Yeah. Well, because you touted it as some big solution. Yet there was a guy on Twitter who commented at you, Dick, and he said that he asked for a raise and he got fired.
Yeah, it was Twitter usernames called the cops. I don't give a fuck.
Is that his real Twitter?
Yeah, I brought in his quote. Yeah, call the cops. IDGAF.
Hey, I don't blame him, man. Maybe he gave up because he got fired from his job for asking for a raise, and that's how he feels about society.
Well, he said he did that. He was managing a quick lube joint, and they said hit the road, and he was like, WTF. But he said he got over it with a beer. His solution was beer. That was my solution to it.
All right.
And he said once he finished his education, he didn't need to worry about quick lube jobs anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll say this about asking for a raise as a solution. Not ask for it. Asking for a raise as a solution. Some of the wage discrepancy in male versus female can be eliminated if more women ask for raises. That's not disputable. So that's a potential solution to something, but it's that wage discrepancy is less than 7% when you account for hours worked and type of job that you work and experience.
You hit my number quota like two numbers ago.
Yeah.
You hit the stats quota for me.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah,
Because we both have a problem with that stat that women make more money than men. It's not true when you account for all these other factors, and one of them very well might be they don't ask for a raise as often.
Yeah,
that was the stats I brought in.
Right. Yeah, that's actually in several women's wage studies that I read. They mentioned that if they asked for a raise, that would help eliminate some of that wage gap.
So, do it.
Yeah, I guess. But apparently people thought it was less of a solution than just beer.
Well,
which your poor bozo who listened to your advice got fired from his lube job.
Mike Hurley, Dick, you're a fucking idiot. Income-based fines is a fucking fantastic idea, and you seriously always just have to be contrarian all the fucking time. Shut the fuck up. All those dudes. Great. Thanks. John White, Dick, problems must be in the form of a noun or present participle. I guess I'll work on that, guys. Last one, Alfred Hunt says, technically speaking, alcohol came before meat, Maddox. Remember saying that meat came before?
Yeah, that's demonstrably not true.
No. Considering that it can be found in gas clouds and nebula in space. Ethanol, there's like enough ethanol for the whole human race, like 4 light years from here.
Oh, that's it? 4 light years? We got to travel for... Imagine all the fuel we got to spend to get to these nebulas, moron. And what are we going to do when you get there? Just pull out a big straw from your spaceship and just suck up all the nebulas and just drink and get drunk? You jack it, probably.
I guess we'll see.
Dick, you're going to be the worst kind of astronaut. You're going to be drunk in space, crashing into planets and asteroids.
Hey, you got to take risks.
What does that have to do with anything? Oh, jeez. All right, Dick. Should we...
I got one more voicemail. This one was my favorite.
Yeah. Guess what? So, Con Air is a pretty good movie. So, fuck you, Maddox.
Oh, shit.
That's a...
Oh, yeah. That's the entire voicemail? That's his whole argument? Okay. Thanks for registering that complaint, guy.
Yep.
Good job.
All right. You ready to move on to our solutions this week?
Yeah, what are the solutions, Dick? What's your...
You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. What's
I brought in a good one.
No.
Genetic engineering.
Oh, genetic engineering. Okay. Why is that a solution?
Well, imagine anything you want that's wrong, right? With your body or with organisms or whatever.
Done.
You can fix it with genetic engineering. Now, I was watching this documentary. You know how documentaries, like any series of documentaries, always has one interesting thing in it? They'll have like 6 or 10 episodes or whatever. They'll have one interesting thing to talk about. Yeah. And the entire rest of the series is like regurgitated garbage that you've seen before.
Usually,
yeah. So I was watching one called like The Fish in Us, or the Fish in Humans, or something like that. Yeah, it was talking about like prehistoric leftovers in human beings. Like things from our prehistoric days that are still left in our food.
Okay, good. That's not at all like the Japanese feel or fetish or anything like that.
I don't watch stuff like that.
Yeah,
I only watch highbrow, educational stuff.
Educational porn.
Yeah. Discovery Channel. So they went over this thing called the Sonic Hedgehog protein.
Oh yeah, this was named just a couple of years ago, right? What's the protein?
It's a thing where in the embryonic state, okay, you got your embryo. You know, I don't know if you know how babies work.
No.
But when a man loves a woman, no, you got in your embryo there's a protein that if they move it around, as the fetus develops, or if they clone it, if they make another one and put it anywhere like on the hand, it will turn into more fingers.
Oh really?
Yeah. So you can make like a 6-fingered chick.
Is that specifically this what was it, a gene or a protein that they discovered?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta look it up, obviously. Someone in the comments will find it. But that was the point that the documentary was making.
Okay,
right?
That's interesting.
So what's your first thought?
More penises.
2 dicks.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Immediately. I want as many penises as possible.
What is a bigger solution than that? What are we trying to do here with our spaceships and our nuclear powers and our, what was your solution last time?
Malala Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai. All this education, we're just trying to look like we have 2 dicks.
Yeah, that's true.
True or false?
I guess we all are dicks.
That's true.
Yeah. And I was just talking to someone recently about this too. You know, there was that guy who has been documented. I think Vice did an article about him. But he has 2 working, normal-looking, functioning penises.
Yeah.
That can both ejaculate.
Have you read his Reddit?
I read a little bit of it. He's not a good writer.
And it gets weird. His lifestyle gets really weird.
Yeah, really weird. He's like
dating a couple.
Yeah, he's dating a couple, and he's in some weird poly pansexual. I don't know what all the fucking prefixes are anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Just it used to be just gay and straight. Can't you just like fucking stick with one, huh? Please, just make it simple on us. Fucking Facebook genders types are out of control.
Now we got 2 dicks. Oh, maybe this is a bigger problem than I thought. Having all these extra dicks.
Maybe he has 1 gay dick and 1 straight dick. Who knows?
Yeah. That's why he alluded to something like that with the couple that he was dating.
That's weird.
Like, because one doesn't work as what's up, Sean?
No, I have to know 2 sets of nuts or 1.
One set. I thought you were going to say you have 2 dicks. No.
Not counting the ones in this room.
One set of
one set of testicles, which seems like kind of a waste because then you're gonna blow your load twice as fast, I guess, right? If it's coming out of the same reservoir, right?
Well, twice as fast because there's twice as much stimulation, or you have half a tank. So
half a tank, yeah, because it's like 2 straws in 1 milkshake.
You're right.
Yeah, you're getting that cream out.
Yeah, someone's drinking your milkshake. Yeah. I think you're right.
That's 2
I know
times.
that one of them didn't function as well as the other one, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about this guy's penis, man.
Me too. I brought in a good problem and it tuned in for us.
Real quick.
So it has medical uses, genetic engineering, large-scale production of insulin for the treatment of diabetes.
Great.
Everyone's getting fat as shit.
Yeah.
You need that insulin, man.
Everybody needs to lose 20 pounds is the biggest problem in the universe.
Yeah. Immune system deficiencies, you can fix it in the embryonic stage with genetic engineering.
Yeah.
Interferon, growth hormones.
What are those?
Growth hormones to protect to heal bone fractures and dwarfism.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be a negative. Dwarfism.
You don't want to heal dwarfism. You don't want to cure dwarfism. Well, so I believe that a lot of dwarfs would probably not consider what they have as an ailment or deficiency. Because there's also this movement. This is really weird. Because I think genetic engineering can also solve this problem, which is deafness. And there's a movement in the deaf community where a lot of deaf people reject treatments that help them hear, like cochlear implants and things like that, because they don't view deafness as a defect. So that's potentially something that they could cure. I think even today that a lot of people are rejecting.
So I saw a House episode about that.
Yeah,
House ended up bullying them
into getting the implants. Yeah, there was an article that went around a while back. You know those videos that get posted every couple months of somebody who gets this cochlear implant and they're hearing for the first time and they cry and it's this tearful thing. There was an article written by this angry, I think it was a deaf activist, like one of these people, who said, don't spread that video around, don't pass it around, because...
I mean, you should be reading this in his voice, probably. Deaf activist. Don't send the video around.
Yeah, dude. No. An asshole.
What? Why? That's how he talks, probably.
Okay, yeah, probably.
What's wrong with that?
These are your
People make fun of how I talk every fucking day.
That's true. That's true, guys. You can't come down on us.
Yeah.
Poor Dick. He's the victim.
Yeah. I'm the victim of cyberbullying over here. That means I can say whatever I want.
There's no amount of genetic engineering that can fix the way you talk, Dick. This is it. This is as good as it gets, man. They're trying. Science is putting their best minds at the task.
So you were saying?
Yeah, so this guy wrote this article saying don't spread this video around, but his reasoning was really flimsy. It just sounded like he's one of these guys who hate people who get cochlear implants.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. I think that, like, that's the impression that I get looking at this genetic engineering stuff. When I was looking it up for the show,
right.
it seems like every interesting article about it also has an apology at the end.
Genetic engineering.
Yeah.
So the reason I mentioned that, Dick, the deaf activists,
right.
is because it seems like the biggest obstacle towards this solution coming to fruition is people and society not accepting it. Like, for example, I don't know, conservative people who are opposed to stem cell research.
Yeah.
So how do you solve that problem?
I don't know. I honestly don't. The people who just don't want to play God.
Yeah.
I'm blaming priests again, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. No amount of marketing seems like it could fix it.
You know what, though? Dick, it's not the people who are saying don't play God. I mean, some of them, for sure. But the majority of it comes from the anti-abortion crowd, the anti-abortion activists who think that somehow doing genetic research on stem cells and using stem cells to cure people is tantamount to abortion. They think that it's a slippery slope that leads us to abortion.
Yeah, you know, the only thing I know about this, so I read George W. Bush's memoir.
Okay. Of course you did, Dick.
Decision Points. You remember this. You know the memoir I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, what were some of his decision points, Dick?
I picked it up in an airport in Vegas when I was coming home. I was reading on the plane, and the stewardess came up to me and was like, hey, the stewardesses and I are trying to figure out, like, where you're from, that you would be so brazenly reading George W. Bush's book.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I'm like, this was the president. Like, these were his thoughts while he was running this country for 8 years. I'm the bad guy. I'm a pariah because I'm interested in what this guy thought about it, like, and how he wants to, whatever.
I mean, unequivocally, yes is the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a scandal on the plane that I was just reading this book. Anyway, he's got this chapter on stem cell research, and damn it, if he didn't make a cohesive case on why it was immoral for him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, not in general, but like why he didn't promote stem cell research. And I hate it, because I want there to be stem cell research all day, every day. But his point was simply that the embryos they were going to research on were viable to bring to life. Like, were viable as fetuses if they were to, I don't remember, it was like snowflake babies. It was called something like that.
Yeah.
Where they were in some kind of like suspended state, but they could be turned into fetuses.
Yeah.
And like that was even too much like abortion.
Right, but they were never intended to be turned into actual living beings.
Correct.
And also, there's a difference between being a person who morally objects to stem cell research based on your personal beliefs, and also then using your personal beliefs to influence national policy. And that's what George W. Bush did, and that's what makes him a shitty president. He used his own personal biases, his own personal beliefs to legislate that could fix. I mean, there's so much shitty diseases and ailments that we could cure with stem cell research and genetic engineering that we're not because of zealots like this guy.
I absolutely agree with you. The only issue I take with it is that it's not this guy, it's most people. I think most people are against it. That's why I found the apologies on all these articles that I was looking at so alarming.
Like what? Do you have any examples?
No, I didn't print them out because they were offensive. Like, I just printed out the data, but it was everything always ended with, and by the way, there's a controversy about these risks and cloning and blah 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 blah. Some of it even said there's going to be like a cloning gap, like an engineering gap between us and China.
There is. That's exactly what I was about to say. In China, where you don't have these moral qualms that come from, I believe it's puritanical beliefs.
Yeah, it's got
Look,
it.
you can be anti-abortion and then still for stem cell research. I mean, you shouldn't be. I am against abortion, but I am for killing babies. That's a stance I've had for a long time. Yeah, I want there to be dead babies, but I don't want anyone to choose but me. But that's neither here nor now. But anyway, man.
In what situation is that appropriate?
I can't even imagine right now. So yeah, there will be this genetic gap between us and China. China is already experimenting on chimeras. They're experimenting on human cloning.
3 tits?
No.
How many dicks do they have in China? There's going to be a dick gap.
Yeah, there's a dick gap. Ew. What if they accidentally engineered just a really gappy dick? Yeah, just like with this big old mud flaps on that.
I think that's called a vagina.
Yeah. What if they make it?
They already did that.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Gene therapy can treat conditions ranging from AIDS, cystic fibrosis, and high cholesterol. How about they threw that one in there? I don't know why. And a variety of cancers.
I bet a fat guy wrote that article. Right?
Yeah. Crops. They can make crops that are resistant to pesticides, pathogens. They grow faster. They delay ripening, so we get some ripe fruits from the store.
You know, Dick, there's this anti-GMO movement now. And GMO stands for genetically modified organisms.
Orgasm.
Not orgasms, Dick. Genetically modified organisms, right? Yeah. So that's there's this movement that's against that. Actually, I was going to bring GMOs in as a solution potentially on another episode, but it's a slightly different solution.
Yeah.
GMOs, yeah. So people are opposed to these things without quite understanding what the ramifications are, because essentially genetic modification occurs all the time in nature.
Right.
Genes mutate on their own through natural selection, natural processes, and sometimes through mutations through radiation, and who knows? There's a lot of processes that cause genetic mutation.
Wear and tear, just like regular genes.
Sure. Actually, yeah. The longer the older you grow, sometimes your DNA
More
gets
comfortable.
They're not like, you don't get into a nice warm set of pajamas.
Stats back that up.
Okay, all right. I have to find evidence that genes don't get into pajamas. Anyway, Dick. Yeah. So genes mutate all the time on their own, and the problem that people have with it is that they don't trust humanity to do those mutations ourselves. We're doing controlled mutations. You know what gene modification is tantamount to? Is controlled fires in nature. Because we sometimes go through nature and we look at forests and see that, okay, this forest is ripe for a fire, and if we don't control it ourselves, it's going to go out of control when it does burn, when the lightning does strike.
Yeah.
You know, lightning striking is similar to gene mutation. It just happens, and you can't control it. These people are opposed to human-controlled gene mutation.
Yeah, good point. Well, it's my solution. You're arguing for me. So
I know, Dick. That's because I can see a good solution when I hear it.
How about genetically engineering E. coli to enhance biofuel production, so we're not dependent on retarded windmills and solar panels? I added that.
You added the word retarded in front of
the whole conclusion I added.
Thank you. Of course.
How about pets? They can make glow-in-the-dark fish now. With genetic engineering.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's it. They should make glow-in-the-dark everything.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single animal that wouldn't look or function better in glow-in-the-dark.
No, you gotta go to, okay, there's a site called ozgene.com. It's like for custom genetically engineered mice. They genetically engineer mice for laboratory tests.
What do they do that for?
I started reading it, but it was just all done.
Well, okay, so you could genetically engineer mice to have a certain gene that kind of cures. Say for example, I don't know, albino. I think albino is kind of a defect, right? I mean, you don't want to be albino. You'll just burn up all the time.
I think they're more specific than that. They don't just make like funny mice.
Nope, albino.
But the website looks like something out of like 1996. Like this is like a big genetics.
Hey, let's not knock websites that look like they came out in 1996.
And then here's one from genetically engineered salmon. They got a fish that grows to full size in 18 months rather than 36 months. I clicked on their site too. and they have a myths debunking page, right, on their website, because they don't want people worried about genetic engineering.
Sure. I'm sure the anti-vaxxer crowd is going to be reading that page.
Well, if they do read it, I don't think this is going to assuage their concerns. What do you say that? Assuage their concerns. Myth. This is from the Aqua Advantage salmon page. If released accidentally, Aqua Advantage salmon could severely endanger national fish populations. Right? That's the myth that we're addressing. Answer. Aqua Advantage salmon are all female. Now, does this sound familiar already? Yeah. All female sterile Atlantic salmon, which will be reared in a physically contained land-based system. Our facility in Panama has additional thermal and physical barriers which render the possibility of survival outside the facility virtually impossible. That's the plot to Jurassic Park. That's what someone unironically put the plot to Jurassic Park on why you shouldn't be worried about these salmon.
So is that just plagiarism then on the website? Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. They're making like super salmon. I'm all for it, man. We're making, look, it's survival of the fittest, right? Guess what, nature? Man created a better version of you, and we're conquering. We're winning this war.
I got one last point. Life extension. Now, genetic engineering, you want to get off the planet, right? That's your thing, I think. Would you say that's your biggest goal, like, as for the species?
It is our biggest goal. Yeah, we have to get off this planet. That is, eventually, that is going to be the biggest solution in the universe, I think, is to get off this planet.
For you, that is. Yeah. My biggest solution, like my biggest desire, and I'm being dead serious, living forever.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Life extension.
Sure.
There's no reason these shitty corpses have to rot away and start, like, you're losing muscle mass, your memory turns to shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories, actually, a lot of contemporary theories. There are a lot of them that talk about how it's actually within a shot of our lifetime.
Yeah. And these guys, the Google guys, and Larry Ellison, all these rich guys, all these rich billionaires, surprise, surprise, are starting these genetic engineering life extension projects. Yeah. To do exactly what I'm talking about.
Pretty cool.
But I think that'd be pretty cool.
You know what, Dick, though? It doesn't matter how long you live, doesn't matter how much cancer they cured, doesn't matter how much heart disease they solved, you're still stuck on Earth. And Earth is doomed. You gotta get off this planet, baby. That's the biggest solution.
Hey, man, if I have 2 dicks and I have to sit on Earth, I'll be fine with that.
Great, Dick. All right, is that enough? Yeah, let's move on to my next problem. And don't forget, we have the wine test coming up. All the wine's ready to go. Get your palate ready. Cleanse it of all the bullshit. But this real solution, rude people. Rude people is the biggest solution in the universe. Okay, and in parentheses I put in me. Because I am a rude person. No shit. Yeah. I'm gonna write. You keep talking. I'm gonna write down all the rude things. Okay, well, Dick, we only have an hour. Here are some social norms that are considered rude, and why each one is a rule that I break. Okay, the first one is being the first to eat something at dinner. Right? Yeah. That's a social norm. If you sit down at a restaurant, every time I go out to eat, it becomes a Mexican standoff, where everyone is sitting there staring at the delicious food, but everyone's too afraid to make the first move by eating. Look, man, sometimes people order stuff that takes longer to arrive. Why should everyone suffer because you decided to order some bullshit-ass lasagna that takes 20 minutes to bake? Huh? Why are you being such a pain in the ass about it? And where does it end? You know, if we're sitting down in these restaurants, there are people all around you in the restaurant eating. Do you expect them to all stop eating when you come in and wait for your food to arrive? No, of course not. So why is it fair for you to expect the people at your table to just do that because you don't have food yet? Yeah, it sucks, but tough shit. People are eating food all around you all the time. If you don't like it, stay home and eat by yourself, where the only person who has to wait on you is you miserable fuck. Don't make me wait just because you don't know how to order properly.
Is this directed at someone specifically?
Do you feel like I was directing at you?
No, me? No. Oh, no.
It definitely was directed at someone.
At me?
No, not you.
Oh, thank God. Because I was, well, my first thought was, I don't think people who don't get their food on time, I think they feel worse making you wait. You're doing them a service by just eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have your food, I'm like, I feel horrible. These people have this hot food. Just go, and you ain't gonna say it 3 times. Like you have a magical genie.
No, please, go ahead and eat. It's not a big deal. Just fucking eat. It doesn't bother me.
However, It seems like this is directed at someone
Doing all the
specifically.
finishing sucks when it's cold.
Okay, so I went to an Italian
Because
restaurant
it's wet.
Still,
and there was this big group of
ice
chicks
cold
sitting
water.
at a table. And one of them wanted to order
It was
fucking
worse
lasagna.
minded razors
And it says
because
on the
those
menu,
you have to use
20
ice in
minutes
the water.
preparation time for
This
the
at least
lasagna.
can be room
And
temperature.
meanwhile, these girls are so obnoxious. They're sitting there taking selfies, but they have a selfie stick. Have you seen these things? Yeah. It's a new fucking thing that people carry around with them. It's a little telescope that they screw into their phones and they take photos of themselves with it.
Yeah, they're awful.
You know what? It's an invention that was invented, that was created specifically so people don't have to go through the inconvenience of asking a waiter to take a photo
Well,
of them.
that's a good solution.
No! Come on.
They're not conveniencing other people.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Ask anyone. Who gives a shit? They're just too shy. Shy people. That's the biggest problem in the universe. Go vote it up!
No, I hate it. I hate that it exists, that selfies are that important, that people need to carry around a stick for it. But,
Selfie stick.
But asking waiters, man, that's costing waiters time. They could be getting me a drink in that time.
Nah, waiters are always standing around, man. You look at it, unless it's like a super duper busy restaurant, and even then, you can have someone sitting at a table next to you. Who gives a shit? You don't need to bring a selfie stick. Fuck off with your stick. Shove it up your ass. Yeah, anyway, dude. I'm the guy.
It's directed at these ladies?
These ladies, and yeah, I've had friends too who we go to restaurants and they order some fucking bullshit ass steak or pork or some fucking thing on the menu that says give 2 days preparation, and then they'll talk to the waiter. Is there anything you can do? I really want this.
Can you cook it faster?
Yeah, if you cook it. No,
Take it near the ocean, so it cooks extremely fast.
Yeah, if you want your special fucking boutique item, don't go to a fucking restaurant with your friends. Stay home. You don't deserve friends. You deserve social isolation.
I think this is the same person that doesn't eat spicy food.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the same people. Okay, here's another rude thing that I do all the time. I open trays of food at a party. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I show up to a party and I see a big table full of trays, no one's touched, aluminum foil on top, guess what? I'm opening them. I'm going to eat, and I'm going to be the first to eat.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm doing when I do that? I'm doing everyone at that party a favor. Because everyone's a pussy. They're all standing around thinking the same thing with their hands in their pockets. Well, I want to eat, but I don't want to be the first. And they're just waiting for
They don't
somebody.
want to look like a pig.
No,
right?
No. It's not that, Dick. It's not that. Like, if I was like a real fat fatty, and I was doing that, then I'd look like a pig. But I'm not. So I walk over to the thing, and I just open it up. They're waiting for authority. These are people who are conditioned by society and school to follow rules and to fall in line and to wait until someone tells them to do something. And guess what? I'm the authority. I show up at your party, I'm eating your snacks, buddy. That's what I do. That's a solution.
Yeah.
All right? Here's another rude thing. Cutting in line.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
pretty rude.
Ah, get out of here. I love it. It's my favorite thing. I love cutting in line. Here's why. Look, if I show up to the airport, and this happens all the fucking time, I'll show up to the airport, and I'm ready to check in at the self-check-in kiosk. And I'll stand in line, and I'll notice that there's a whole bunch of bozos in front of me. And all these bozos have skis, and kids, and dogs, and God knows what else. And they're texting and taking selfies with their selfie sticks, not paying fucking attention. And nobody is telling the next person to go ahead. No one's saying, hey, dipshit, put down your selfie stick. It's your turn to check in. You know what? I'm not going to do that if you're not doing it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk around the line and just go check in. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. The only time I won't cut in line is if everybody's standing in line, paying attention, not texting, and everyone's taking their turn, and it's an efficient line. If it's not efficient, it's your fault. I'm not going to wait in that line for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a solution for everyone?
It is.
Because that's a big solution. You want this to just be like a feeding frenzy, like China, where everybody's trying to cram into turnstiles?
No, it's more like, I would say it's more like Southwest, where you stand in line and you get there on time and you seek because you got there on time and you're paying attention. If you're fucking around texting, guess what? Someone behind you is going to go around you.
Yeah. I think the shame that you're supposed to feel when you do these things, when you're a rude person, is like a natural limiter for not having too many of you around. Like, it's okay to have a couple rude people fixing things, like you know, a couple jerks that fix things by being jerks.
Yeah.
But I don't know about a big solution. I think we got enough. I think we're at a nice, what is it? Not critical, man. Nice balance.
Nice balance, huh?
Yeah.
You know, Dick, it reminds me of an argument I had with a friend one time who said, if you're driving down a 2-lane road And usually the right-hand lane road gets filled up with cars parking, right? Except near the front of an intersection. So the front of an intersection is a little gap where you can get in the right-hand lane, you can turn right, or you can continue going straight, but you have to merge back into the left-hand lane because the right-hand lane is covered with cars, right?
Right.
I always take the opportunity to get in the right-hand lane, speed up, and cut off the person who was going straight in the left-hand lane.
Okay.
And my friend said that I was a dick. I said, no, because if they're just sitting there putzing around, not paying attention for the light to turn green, I mean, I'm like a race car driver, man. White knuckle every time.
Well, you're very reckless. Yeah, that's true.
Dick, aggressive is not reckless.
I think it is. By definition, I think aggressive driving is bad.
Okay,
I
don't need criticism from Rain Slick Dick over here. All right? One of us hasn't wrecked his car, dickhead. That's me. And what I'm doing when I get out of that lane and I cut you off because you're putzing around talking to your girlfriend or texting with your selfie stick, what I'm doing is getting one car fewer on the road. I'm getting to where I'm going faster. There's going to be less cars behind you. And by the way, if everyone just lines up in one solid row, guess what? Down at the next intersection, some poor bozo, some poor schmuck's going to be stuck in the intersection. And they're not, because I'm making one more space by getting the fuck off the road. That's what your goal should be. When you get on the road, is to get off as quickly as possible.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the
So
goal.
we should be thanking you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying,
For
Dick.
cleaning traffic up.
Why aren't people thanking me? Okay, here's another rude thing that I do all the time. Telling picky eaters and vegans no.
So, okay.
Just no. You're a picky eater? Stay home. We're not going to invite you.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend 1 second, one molecule of energy thinking about your dietary needs. Fuck you. I got my own issues. All right? I don't want to think about, oh, do they have vegan? Do they have chicken? Do they have rice? I don't give a shit. We're going someplace. You go, you show up, you order, or you fuck off and die. It's just that simple. You know, I went to a dinner party last night, Dick. My friend invited me. He said, hey, you want to come over for dinner? My answer was yes. Not yes, comma, what are you having? Not yes, comma, should I bring any side, blah, 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 blah. I know to just say yes, show up and eat what's served, bring a wine.
That's not rude. That's very polite.
Yeah.
Everything you've just described.
Exactly. And I'm saying that if you say no to picky eaters and vegans who are just being a pain in the fucking ass, then you start solving this problem.
I don't know. I think you're kind of contradicting yourself now.
How so?
Well, specifying what they want, like if you're being asked for dinner, making it contingent on what's being served, that I would say is very rude, Maddox.
Yeah, it is rude.
So the vegans themselves are being rude, not you.
That's what I'm saying. So
but they're not a solution.
No, I'm saying no to vegans is a solution.
Yeah, but they're worse rude than you. Now it's like you're saying evil is a solution, but it's like they're more evil than you. They're more rude than you.
Yes. So I am picking the lesser of two evils here. However, it is still considered rude to tell vegans and vegetarians and picky eaters no. And I'm doing that. I'm taking a hit for the team, and no one's thanking me.
Yeah, you're standing up to all those vegans, all those tough vegans.
They're bullies. That's what they did. They browbeat you with their fucking diets. Oh, every fucking time. Oh, I'm special. I have a special diet. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
How about constantly being late? Is that on your list?
No, Dick.
Something that you do?
I don't need shit from you, Dick Masterson, who's canceled episodes. These are all true excuses for reasons he couldn't come in. Disneyland, the aquarium, Six Flags.
Disneyland with my nephew.
Yeah, with your nephew, of course, Dick. And then to show you 40 minutes late. Fuck you, man. Fucking bullshit. I'm so mad. I want to eat this paper. All right.